Okay,
Try to.
sorry.
No, sorry.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek Cast number 96. That hedgehog over there. All right. Lay it on, Charles. What were you about to say?
No. I was like just like acting up, having some fun.
Cool. How's everybody doing?
I am doing great. In my Tony the Tiger voice. Happy wonderful Wednesday. We're rocking out. I got some ginger latte in me, so I'm a little gingery.
It's great.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Oh, just a beautiful day. Jade is not quite home yet, so you will probably hear a little bit of Ethan background entertainment until she does get home.
Yeah.
Since we had one kid so far. Since we've had a son, my office space has also became /nursery or playpen. Yeah, that's just great.
It's all. You know what makes it awesome? Because it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, especially if there's like Legos or something underneath them.
Ouch.
Yep.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how many dells of pain that is?
A lot.
Oh, that's a lot of dells.
Yeah, it's a lot of dells.
Yeah, I'd take a Lego over a Dell though.
Well, no, the Dell is a measurement of pain.
No, what's pain is being kicked by your baby in the not so fun area with the walking shoe.
Oh, I thought that was just normal.
Computer home today.
Oh well, you ought to try getting headbutted when you got a concussion by a kid.
Okay. How about this? You go over to your friend's house to meet his kid, right? And the kid is just old enough to put his own Voltron videotape in the VHS deck, right?
Yeah.
And you walk up to the kid and you say hi. And the kid looks up at you and says, "Hi, I'm a robot," and then punches you in the junk. That happened to me with a really good friend of mine. We still talk about it. It's like his kid is mortified about it now. The kid's like 18 now. We still tell it every time every once in a while. It's like, you were a kid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had multiple times where Ethan just stands up and just straight on the junk. I mean, lands feet first, like over and over again. It's just like a bullseye for him.
Was it on purpose or
No, completely incidental. But he keeps doing it incidentally.
This was completely on purpose. This was like premeditated, aimed.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's like the guys back in school who would thought it was funny to go around just like grabbing guys' junk. Like, you may not turn out quite straight in the future.
You think? Are we? Isn't this what we're supposed to do? No.
No, I don't think so. So, how was Thanksgiving, everybody?
Oh, Thanksgiving was. Oh my God. Thanksgiving was just so great. I had so much fun. I think I ate everything in the world, but it was great and it felt good. And
nice.
Yeah, I'm still in food drunk.
That's right.
Yeah.
Something I realized. Thanksgiving is traditionally turkey. Christmas is more so like ham. You know what we really need?
What's that?
I mean, we need a steak holiday. Like a holiday
we have one.
Steak is the main course. Like
we have one.
What?
Steak and blowjob day.
Damn it, beat me to it. I was about to suggest that.
Well, unfortunately, that does not make it onto my official Office or Microsoft Outlook calendar.
Well, guess what? Neither does anything else until you configure it correctly.
But we do. We need, or I'm okay even throwing it into Valentine's Day, wherever we get it.
It's the opposite of Valentine's Day.
Yeah, one of the things base needs to be steak. That's my thought for the night.
don't know. Wouldn't that fall under like Memorial Day or 4th of July or Veterans Day or something like that too?
I mean, it could, but we need to define it and we need to streamline it across the board.
I'm just saying, it's there. We just got to take part.
See, I mean, because turkeys, they've taken like wholehearted, like they have Thanksgiving and ham has Christmas. Pigs. So our cows need to come back. They need to stand up for their rights, and they need to take a holiday.
Stand up for their right to be slaughtered, huh?
Exactly. Yes. To be tasted enjoyably by millions.
Reminds me of a date I had once.
Unless you're Indian and that's against your religion, then I'm sorry what I just said.
We don't eat the cow. Yeah, but you shit in the street. So you know what? Shut up and give me a burger.
Hey, I like meat.
When I was going through grad school, I had a lot of Indians and Chinese people in my classes. The Chinese people, though, I don't see them in the industry as much. Like they didn't stay here, but I see a lot of Indian people in the industry. So I wonder if there's a lot of Indian people that come over here for school and like do everything they can to stay here.
Speaking of Chinese in the industry, like I've noticed Chinese women, I think more so at conferences than I have Chinese men. Which I mean, from a percentage ratio, like that's pretty cool. Like I think they outnumber men.
Are you absolutely sure?
This is just observance, not scientific fact, just what I've observed.
No, what I'm saying is you got to do the Dundee check, because unless you do a Dundee check with especially Asian Americans, they can pass for women very easily.
Oh, yes, the Dundee check.
Yes, you got to do the Dundee check.
Honestly, as tame of a movie as that was, I think that was the first time that I was exposed to that subject matter as a youngin'.
Oh, there's plenty of good movies you could have watched.
Not probably though with mom and dad.
The World According to Garp is probably the first time I was exposed to something like that.
There's also I don't know. It depends on your attitude about it. Risky Business, maybe.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that in so long. I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't.
The first woman that his buddy calls out of the classified ads, she was a little on the butch side.
Oh, okay.
Actually, a lot of people have heard the song Lola by the Kinks long before they saw anything in the movies.
Oh yeah.
And that's the whole theme of that song. So, I'd say you were exposed to it at that point.
Yeah,
it's becoming more normalized now, which is kind of a good thing in a way.
Yeah, but still, Lola for me was probably more classic rock. I mean, because I grew up like 80s, 90s, like mid 90s. Right.
Oh shit! So, you ought to hear what passes for classic rock these days.
I know. Like all my stuff from the 80s and 90s is going to be
classic rock. Yes.
Yeah, and that for me, whenever I was growing up, like that was rock. And now it's classic rock and John Mellencamp and all that stuff. Yeah,
you play Led Zeppelin and nobody knows what the fuck it is.
Yeah, I know.
That German grindcore band. Shut the fuck up and buy a real drink.
Exactly.
By the way, a friend of mine gave me a most beautiful gift, and if you have the opportunity to partake in this stuff, I highly, highly suggest it. It is Jack Daniel's Frank Sinatra Reserve.
Oh, somebody was telling me about that. Yeah, it's like a limited run. So.
Oh my God, that stuff is beautiful.
Yeah, you've tried it already?
I have. I did a favor for a friend of mine in an industry level, and he's like, "Name your bottle. I'm bringing you something."
Ooh, that's nice.
And oh my God, we cracked that puppy the other night.
Yeah.
Good.
It made you happy.
It made me happy in my happy place.
I don't know if I'd take it that far.
Well, you're not as old as I am.
Well, that's true. You're older than shit, so.
I'm older than shit.
I mean, and that's pretty old.
Yeah, that is. I'm not quite older than dirt, but you know.
Coppolite.
But we got a conference. We got these conferences going on right now in Vegas, and my old boss from New York was here, and we sat down, had dinner, and I realized something really fucking scary. I'm sitting across the table from the guy who like brought me into this industry, right?
Yeah.
And I said, "Do you realize that I am as old right now as you were when we first met?"
Wow.
It was just like we both were like put back for a second, like fuck.
It's really weird that you met him whenever he was 14, you know, 14. And now you're 28.
He's actually 75.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just on the cusp of 50.
Okay. Milestones. Actually, yeah, like
okay, right? Kidney stones.
Kidneys. Both of them are milestones. Okay, we want to go ahead and jump into the show notes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, first up, got a little bit of ransomware news because you know everybody loves a little bit of good ransomware. So we had some ransomware infect a hospital in Ohio and West Virginia. And let's see. The hospitals didn't specify, and again, my son's in the background, so he'll be here for a few minutes. Officials didn't specify what kind of ransomware it was, but the hospitals together, and I'm guessing, you know, one's in Ohio, one's in West Virginia, but they're probably close enough that they're both potentially owned and use the same back-end computer systems, but owned by the same people. Yeah, but combined, they have 340 beds, which is how they deem the size of a hospital, like within their own industry, just from the bed count, which I didn't know that until probably within the last 6 to 8 months, since I never really do hospital stuff. But they are saying no patient data was compromised, and the hospitals were still accepting walk-in patients, like during the incident. Let's see if there's anything else of interest. I don't think this was attributed at all to SamSam, but we're going to be talking about that in a moment. But they did reference SamSam in the article here. Blah blah blah. Nope, those are the main points. But yeah, they were able to still keep operation still close to 100% while the ransomware hit. So it didn't take down critical systems, and thankfully no life-intensive systems. And next up, we have, and this is a little outside the breach report, but since it's still ransomware, I decided to go ahead and throw it in here anyway. The U.S. is indicting 2 individuals over the SamSam ransomware that has hit Atlanta, hospitals, and other cities. The 2 individuals, Mr. Sabandi and Mr. Mansouri. Sabandi, because I can't pronounce her first names, is 34. Mansouri is 27. They are located out of, I think it's Iran. Let me find that real quick. Where's San Diego? I'm like 99% sure it's Iran. Yes, Iran. And like SamSam has hit over 200 different organizations just within the U.S., not including other countries. So, yeah, they've been running their campaigns for the last 3 years, and the U.S. is now indicting them, but they'll still have to somehow try to get extradition from Iran. So we'll see if they actually ever come to court, but they've been indicted. Any comments?
Yeah.
Yep. I missed this one last week, but USPS had 60 million of their customers' data potentially available to anyone who has a USPS account. That's not the best thing. So essentially, if you could log into the USPS site, you could have accessed any of the account data for any other user. And this was a Krebs on Security article. That's actually, I mean, that's pretty sweet. 60 million just by logging into your account. But there was an API that's tied to the Postal Service called Informed Visibility, which according to USPS is designed to let businesses, advertisers, and let businesses and advertisers and other bulk mail senders make better business decisions by providing them with access to near real-time tracking data. And so they have closed this hole, but I mean, you always assume that your information's compromised. And in this case, it probably was, being that they are a sub-government agency. And this was fairly easily accessed. So this is most likely somewhere out there crawling around. And next up, Drake's Fortnite account. And I have a really infosec site, you know, where the article is, because it was the first one that I found it on. hotnewhiphop.com. That's where I'd normally go for infosec related data. But Drake the rapper, I guess, is, you know, decent way to refer to him. His Fortnite account was compromised, and one of the big guys in the industry, Ninja. Are you guys familiar with him? Because I don't do any gaming.
I vaguely know him. I know he got some shit from Anita Sarkeesian, who's a scam artist.
Okay.
You know, if you saying that.
Okay.
I was all getting pissed about that. We've got all pissy with him because he won't play with any woman who's not his wife. He basically had the Mike Pence rule of gaming.
He won't play them.
He won't play,
or like play against them.
He won't play on streams with any woman besides his wife because he doesn't want anybody to see it as flirtation or anything like that.
Oh, really?
That's all sorts
interesting
of for that. And I'm like, he's just trying to be. He's a little. It's oversensitive, granted, but anyway, that's all I know about the guy.
Cool, interesting. Darren, Jack, you know anything about him? You guys are gamers.
I don't play Fortnite at all, so I know
okay.
I know fuck all about it.
Yeah, I know next to nothing about Fortnite. But the way that Ninja kind of got tipped off before, so the guy who compromised Drake's account, he went on and started saying the N-word like left and right throughout the game, and apparently the event was some fundraiser for Ellen DeGeneres' wildlife fund, and they raised like $52,000. But this guy gets on there, you know, posing as Drake and starts dropping the N bombs. But even before that, Ninja was getting tipped off just because the latency for the guy's connection was like really high compared to where Drake's had normally been. Apparently, I'm guessing they play a lot together, as well as I don't know if Ninja was able to figure out that it was originating out of Europe, but at some point somebody figured that out. But yeah, had a very high ping time. Oh, also they were able to tell that he was playing on a PC, which apparently Drake doesn't play on a PC or from a PC. So like Fortnite, I'm used to more like regular gaming. It can also be played on like tablets and like, can you play it on like an Xbox or PlayStation? Anybody know?
Yeah, you can. It's on multiple platforms.
Okay, so that makes sense. So Drake probably plays on one of those platforms. But yeah, so they were able to, lock the account out, sounds like, and prevent the guy from getting back in. And he recovered the account, but yeah, it's fun times on Fortnite. That should have been the name of the article, Fun Times on Fortnite. And then last up for the breach report real quick here, we have a BitPay CoPay wallet was compromised. And so BitPay is one of the larger wallets that are being used out there. And don't know 100% yet if players still on Fortnite, if users' private keys were stolen or not. But since they do not know 100%, it's best to go in. They have a new wallet, install it, get everything updated. The malware hit their systems November 20th, and the researchers at BitPay were only able to understand what the heavily obfuscated malicious code actually did on November 26th. So that was 2 days ago. So yeah, for the most part, they didn't know hardly anything for 6 days. So that left, the bad guys in there having 6 days worth of time to do whatever they wanted. So get your stuff updated. And that's the breach report. Breach report. Let's move on to Weird Group of the Week. Everybody's very quiet tonight.
Yeah, this one is not so much a group as it is been a running meme for a bit. All right, let me see if I can pull up a couple notes so I can express it correctly. There's a couple good videos on this. One's with Tim Pool and Sargon of Akkad. Another one's Nick Monroe's Big Long Thread. And there's this one page that is very brutal. Essentially, a guy, the gentleman's name is escaping me at the moment. I think it's like something like Trainwreck. He had this rant on Twitch about the state of the industry and all sorts of different things. And he talked about more than just thoughts. But thoughts was one of the things he brought up. He brought up things like women in Twitch who don't really play the game so well, but they show off a lot of boobies, or they're doing yoga, or they're doing something else, and basically make a bunch of money off of people donating money to the Patreon and so forth.
Hey, Adrian, real quick, can you give a brief, just a brief on what thought is?
Thought stands for apparently that hoe over there.
And if you don't know what thought means by this point, then you have been buried under a bush somewhere, because it is very common knowledge.
Well, I mean, we've been seeing it all, but we've been seeing it all over Twitter and everything, and just for anybody who's listening who doesn't know.
Well, I mean, thought's been a word for about, since 2013, 2012.
Very specific.
In potentially certain circles. Not necessarily all circles. Okay, back to you, Adrian.
Yes, I'm looking up exactly the guy who did rant. Yeah, Trainwrecks. Apparently was the guy who did the rant. It's an interesting rant to go watch. And at some point in time, I think a girl who does this kind of stuff on either Instagram or Twitch posted about, someone reported me to IRS. And then a different person that was on Facebook who goes by the handle named David Wu started suggesting that a bunch of people all report cam girls and so forth and Twitch booby streamers, I believe that's sometimes referred to the IRS for not paying taxes. Now, I don't know if a lot of these people are paying taxes or not. So, I mean, a lot of people are talking about reporting people. And Moosh V, by the way, Moosh V is this guy who I think his thing is neo-masculinism, which is its own weird movement. It's not an MRA, it's not a MGTOW, it's something else different. But he popularized it and started retweeting stuff. And so a bunch of people on like Twitter and Facebook and so forth are apparently supposedly going around and reporting what they're called thoughts, or women who make money off showing body parts and so forth to the IRS. Now, as far as we know, I don't know if the IRS is taking any of this seriously, seeing as how are you going to report somebody when you don't know necessarily the real name, you don't have further information about them, you don't know. I'm seriously doubt the IRS is taking this seriously. But there are a bunch of women who refer to themselves as sex workers. As far as I know, most of them are just doing cam stuff that are all pissed off and paranoid about it. And one of the reasons people are doing this, I think, they keep getting called right-wing incels. Well, generally the right-wing people are the taxationist theft people. They're not normally going to complain too much about someone getting away with tax evasion. I don't think. Then again, if some people have to pay taxes, they want other people to pay taxes. So maybe I think it's more people who are just looking to troll someone who's easy to troll. And there's been a few of the cam girl types, or Instagram types, who have said things like, "I need another vacation," and losers to pay for it. And they kind of denigrate the own people who pay money to see the private nudes and so forth. Which, by the way, there's so much free porn on the internet. Who the hell is paying these cam girls?
But really, though.
Yeah, like the stuff that I saw was more of like the Snapchat stuff, and
I mean that's what they're calling these women out for, is their premium snaps. Which, honestly, because I'm friends with a lot of Twitch gamers, they've given me their premium snaps. I don't pay for them, never will. So far, out of my 4 friends, one is definitely going to shut hers down by the end of this week because she just doesn't want to deal with it, even though there's no nudity. There's absolutely no nudity whatsoever on her shit. It's absolutely boring. Another one, she thinks it's absolutely funny, and she just uses it as outreach to reach out to those who are her highest donors. That's it. That's all.
Well, that's something I was thinking about too with this conversation. Does the federal government condone prostitution?
No, technically, these people aren't even prostitutes.
But do they? Because what made me start thinking about that was, there's the Bunny Ranch in Nevada. Do those women pay taxes for their services?
And yes, they do, but it's under a different category.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because if they do, that makes me think that, at minimum, the IRS condones it from a government perspective.
Well, the IRS doesn't condone it; they just kind of don't care. Mostly, they're concerned about you paying income taxes and
right. And as long as you present yourself as a 1099 entertainer, they don't care what kind of entertaining you do.
Yep, it's not their job to care. If you're breaking something illegal, that's for the FBI to deal with. The IRS only cares about making sure you're paying your taxes.
So, from like a entertainer perspective, a 1099er entertainer, can that also be potentially actors and actresses too?
Yes, it just depends. I mean, like I said, 1099 is just an independent contractor. And
But if they all get lumped into that same category, I definitely find that amusing.
This right here is my favorite cam whore.
Well, as an example, my wife is doing side work on Mechanical Turk. Her name is also Mechanical Turk, and they give her a 1099 for it because she's an independent contractor, and they pay flat rates for it, basically. So at the end of the year, she's going to have a 1099 that shows here's the income, this is all the taxable amount. So at the end, you pay for it when tax time comes.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked 1099 before.
Yeah.
This may be the first year that I have it in probably 15, 16 years. Just doing one-off side jobs and stuff here and there. But yeah, that's funny because I never really thought about it. Some musicians and everything else would still be lumped into the same category as, say a prostitute. Or, we're referring to them as sex workers.
Yeah, I generally have a right-leaning libertarian view on things. So sex work is fine by me. Trying to avoid as much tax as you can is fine by me, though. If other people who are doing, contract, self-employment work, and they have to pay, then you should have to pay too. Some of the attitudes I see expressed out there, though, I can understand why people went after some of the women doing this work, because people were saying support sex work and folks' premium Snapchats reporting sex work and folks' premium Snapchats to the IRS is violence. it's violence?
No, it's not. It's not violence. I mean, I just think I think it's stupid that they're dropping dimes like that. It's not really my business whether or not somebody's paying taxes or not. I'm not the fucking IRS, and I'm not going to get. And I think it's like up to a certain point that they get. It has to be 2 million or more in order to get like a little bit of a reward. So I mean,
yeah. But keep in mind, something to keep in mind here is that these people are not doing it as a side gig. Like, let's say you go and sell something you make as a side gig. Maybe you earn what, $500 in a year. Yeah, it's technically taxable. No, these people are doing it as their main stream of income. They're doing it as the same kind of job. They're pulling in tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on that. No, they need to pay their fair fucking share.
Oh yeah,
that's bullshit. That's bullshit if they're not.
So let's just take one of my friends for example, and I'm actually gonna copy this clip later on and then send it to her just for a fucking laugh. So like last year she went to Disney 4 times because of one generous person.
Yeah.
I would have chose somewhere other than Disney, but
well, she really loves Disney. I mean, I kid you not. On her snap, she's singing Disney songs all the fucking time. And when she lived out in LA, she got sent to Disney like 4 times.
To Disney jail.
I don't get the men who spend all this money on it. I mean, I get at least I understand this more than donating to someone like Arnita Fakiz gets. I don't understand what anybody gets sends them money. I at least understand this somewhat. But I'm like, I don't see what money these guys sink into this. But someone was saying, or like some dumb tweets like this. Someone was saying incels are doing it. I see nothing necessarily to say that. I see people saying stuff. A bunch of men on Twitter are mad because they believe they're entitled to free nudes. No, they just want you to pay your taxes and they want to fuck with you. Reporting sex.
Now, that's a very important distinction right there.
Let me finish this. Despite sex workers paying taxes, despite needing to make $12K to report on taxes, that's not true either. You don't have to make it. I'm not saying all of it's supposed to be reported on like a 1099.
Yeah, if you make you have to report it. They don't necessarily tax it over to now. You have to report it.
Yeah, like I had to, like, even if you get a small time retail job that you only make, like when I was in high school, I would only make like maybe a couple grand a year. Still needed to report it, and I did get it so that you could get like a refund on it. But
well, I mean, but too, there is the argument that they could say that these were gifts.
Doesn't matter. Gifts are still income.
Oh
no.
It's gifts up to a certain amount.
Like per person. Like say my dad gives me $9,999. That can be a gift. At $10,000, then he has to pay tax on it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jared Hope got about all this. Oh, that dude. Everybody is a far right extremist. This nut job. And that's one thing I also noticed. The white knights who popped up. If you ever look at some of the white knights that pop up on these things, and yeah, well, I'm not saying people should be reporting these bills. I'm not saying that at all. However, when I see the people come out and defend them, those are some of the creepiest looking motherfuckers out there.
Well, yeah.
You mean to tell me their throats look dry and they could use a little drink? They're a bit thirst.
You have to understand something here. At the heart of this, okay, nobody's pissed off that the cam girls are making money. Nobody's pissed off that the guys are spending money on the cam girls.
No, there are some people who are pissed off at it because they view sex working as wrong. I mean, that's fair. Some of that is that.
The key thing that makes this particular hoo-ha explode. Okay, yeah, everyone, you get your Bible thumpers who are out there saying prostitution, looking at titties, you're going to hell. Okay,
yeah,
but this is not that. This is people saying, okay, I'm going to turn you into the IRS, ha ha ha. Now, the thing is, they're totally missing the flip side of this, and they're purposefully ignoring it. It's not the fact that the women are making money doing this, because they've been making money doing this from time immemorial, okay? It's not the fact that there are Johns out there, because in one way or another, everyone's been a John at one time or another in their life. The problem is there's a small percentage of these women who openly, loudly, and publicly say, look how much money I got off of all these fucking dumb men. these like dumb, ugly motherfuckers who can't, wash behind their ears and get a girl are giving me all this money. God damn, they're stupid. I'm going to Disneyland. Who wants to go with me? Now, the minute you do that, you're going to piss off people across the board, fundamentally, no matter what label you put on them. You can call them incels, you can call them homos, you can call them internet jerk-off cowboy. It doesn't matter. The labels don't matter. You've just blatantly insulted a bunch of people, and now you're shocked. You're doing the Captain Louis Renault routine. Shocked. I'm shocked that people are turning me into the IRS. They must hate women. No, they hate women that say, guys are stupid, use them as a portable ATM. Where's the problem there? There is no problem there. If you make that statement, you should expect that you're going to get fucked with. That's really the bottom line. You are going to, if you go out there and you say, this bunch of people are a bunch of fucking morons, and I'm ripping them off for as much money as I possibly can, you should expect that those people are going to be a little pissed off and take a shot at you.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, that's really fundamentally all there is to it. You can paint colors all day long. Yeah. You're an incel. You're a woman hater. You're a KMFDM. You're a whatever the fuck. No, I'm just pissed off because you're telling me, And I had a friend of mine who was a former friend who was the biggest proponent of the men treat women like shit and the world is rigged against women. And what's horrible is that, men do all this shit and they think that they can have any woman they want by throwing money at them. It's so wrong. It's fundamentally wrong and it's destroying our world. And you know what? She's an actress. And she wanted to go to acting school in Australia. And you know how she made the money to get from Connecticut to Australia? She went on Craigslist and put up an ad. She would meet random men in a hotel room, sit on the edge of the bed, and masturbate while they watched her. And that's how she paid for it.
Well, yeah, certain women have this incredibly negative attitude towards men, but they're living off men. Like, there's this one nut job on Twitter I know of who will say shit like, the strongest compliment I ever give a straight man is to say you're not more gay, but she seems to fake a disease and then live off her husband. Mm-hmm. This is kind of sickening. What's even more sickening is these men let them do it.
And the thing is that the hypocrisy, you try to call them out on the hypocrisy, and instantly you're a member of the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Yeah.
Here's some neo-rapist in waiting, polyphenol, whatever the fuck the names are this week. And it's like, and if you object to it, you're an incel. If you go along with it, you're part of the problem. They've constructed a no-win situation specifically designed to keep men in the shame cave and keep the money flowing.
Another thing, if you watch that video I posted in the show notes from Sargon and Tim Pool, they make an interesting note for young men getting jobs if you don't have anything but a high school education or not even that. It's a lot harder than for getting women. Tim Pool goes over his times he was trying to get jobs at bars and other places, and they'll hire a lot of women as servers and bartenders because men tip them well, and they bring in more men to spend money and so forth, more people in general to spend money. So my understanding, I've even seen research that shows that young women below a certain age living in cities make more than men do on average.
Mm-hmm. So try to get a job as a bartender in Vegas if you're a guy. I dare you.
Because now, what I did when I was that age, job I had wasn't any kind of cool job interacting with people. I was a grillman at rallies, and I was a stalker at a couple places, stalking things at third shift. But my understanding, if you're living in a city and so forth and finding jobs, the way Tim was relaying it, it gets kind of difficult.
So you said you were a grill guy?
Yeah, I was a grill guy.
Okay. I want to see you do the Wendy's grill skill rap.
Okay, I have no idea what that is. I looked at rallies. I don't know.
Oh, Wendy's has a videotape that you watch that they teach you how to use the grill, but it was done in the 80s, so all of their training tapes involved rap.
Yeah, it is hilarious too.
And I would love to see a person now perform that.
Let's see if anybody in the chat's calling us incels yet.
Yeah, we're already burning in hell as far as that goes.
Yeah, it's all like that video is almost as good as like back in the 80s, early 90s, whenever like the NFL players were rapping. You guys remember that? Yeah.
You know what I thought you were gonna say?
No.
Don't copy that floppy.
Oh man, taking me back.
Wow.
As far as incels are concerned, my saying is there's no such thing as an incel.
Thank you.
Let me finish the phrase, man.
I'm just saying thank you. I'm saying testify, brother. I'm not cutting you down. I'm saying amen.
There's no such thing as an incel. Just people not willing to go ugly enough early enough.
Or try the other team.
Oh well, yeah. Well, you have a certain advantage in that particular ballpark. Doubles your chances for a date on Saturday night.
Incels do not exist. They're just another name made up for people who disagree with the loud majority.
Well,
they just needed a new name. They needed a new name, a new hate name.
Well, no. Like, hold on. Vice did granted, it's Vice, but they made a video where they actually had one of their journalists talk to someone who'd identified as an incel, and
it started as a self-identification. It's become incel, like you said now, but it did start as a self-identification.
Yeah, so it may have been that point where it was just a made-up word to categorize people, but now people are identifying it with or identifying themselves.
Does that sound like any other word we know?
Do
I have to drop it? Do I have to drop the N-bomb here? Okay, the thing is that incel was just another label for people that disagreed with the mainstream. And then people kind of caught on, and because before incel, it was it MWOG, men going their own way,
MGTOW. But even that,
MGTOW.
all those of those terms started off with someone who self-identified as.
MGTOW sounds like Vietnamese term for prostitute.
Both started out those things that people self-identified as, but then generally actually MGTOW hasn't become something incel because I don't think most people, the term really hasn't been as popularized as much as incel has. Although there was some person who interviewed, there was some big, there was some interview of some MGTOW recently on national TV, so maybe the term will take off.
But see, the thing is, even when you self-identify as that, okay, it's not going to be taken in the way you mean it, in any way possible. Because anything that puts men in a positive light is going to get shot down instantaneously. There is no good. Oh, I'm a good guy. Oh, you're the good guy. So you put in kindness tokens and get sex out. Well, no, I'm just going my own way, and I'm not following the herd of other guys that do bad things. Oh, going your own way. So you're going to abandon women because you can't treat them with respect? Look, you know what? I don't want any part of this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to date. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be happy. Sit here with my books, my sci-fi, and my cat. Oh, you're an incel. So you hate women so much you're not going to touch one because you're afraid because you can't win. You cannot win against these people, and we keep empowering them. And why do we keep empowering them?
Men who are stupid enough to keep listening and keep giving them money.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I'm a misandrist.
There is no
men because men are weak.
We're not. Men are not inherently weak. Okay, what they are is like any other person, man, woman, child, or anything in between. We are victims of our own biology. Okay, we evolved from eat, sleep, fuck, and those three things are ingrained in our biology, and they have been used against us both by the marketing machines and by people in order to use us. And that's universal. It goes for men and women, okay? Men, you got to have a nice car, good hair, and a big dick or you're worthless. Women, you got to have long hair, big tits, and makeup or else you're worthless, okay? Once you start seeing that that's happening to both sides, the story becomes crystal clear. Now, they don't want that. Because once you do that, you start telling everybody to fuck off. I don't need a $20,000 car to be sexy. I don't need a double D push-up bra to be sexy. Oh my God, there goes your profits. So you have to keep people fighting over this shit. And as long as you keep them fighting, as long as you keep them divided, as long as you don't let them open their fucking eyes and see that everyone's being taken advantage of and played in the same way, and you're being forced into playing that game if you want to be part of society, it's going to keep going on. No man comes out of the woman saying bitches ain't shit. That stuff is learned and inherited and taught. The same way no woman comes out of the womb saying all men are pigs, they think with their dicks. That's inherited and it's taught. The sooner we realize this and we see what's going on, and our base primal baked into the DNA programming is being taken advantage of for fun and profit, until we come to that day when we see that, we're fucked. We're going to be listening to this shit for the next 50 years.
Welcome to America.
It's more than America. I mean,
I would say no. I would disagree with that.
Really? It doesn't happen in Britain? Doesn't happen in China? Doesn't happen in Japan?
Not
in
okay.
Japan, women are supposed to walk around like geishas and not speak, and they bind their feet together so they get tiny feet so they look sexy.
Hold up. So, one, they don't bind their feet anymore. Anymore. And that happened, and that was stopped because it was unfashionable socially about 100 years ago. But no, in terms of the whole world, you have certain spots in the world where it's just like, some people are going to do it. Some people are going to want to pay for those services, and some people are not going to. It's not a matter of that, or it's not a matter of like it's bad. It's not a matter of if you think it's right or wrong, and that someone shouldn't do it. It's you may think it's wrong, but you understand that other people will probably do it regardless. For instance, the Netherlands, very lax on a lot of things. Like even
that's where my BitTorrent server is. I'm with you.
Unless, like, the only time, and this goes for recreational drug use as well. The only time that I heard anything to the point that the government was stepping in, so police authorities were stepping in, was when there was a epidemic of black tar heroin that was being sold that was killing people. It was only to the point where something was causing harm to people's lives that was unintentional, to the point that it was actually becoming a health risk.
Well, that's a good argument that we use a lot of times here for the legalization of prostitution. And it's not completely legal. And the Netherlands is a specific case where, in the case of prostitution, it's only legal within the red light district. And that red light district has gotten smaller and smaller over the decades. We've got the same thing here in Vegas. It's just that we're trying to make it bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Just like okay, I'm not going to make that joke.
I couldn't find the original source, so I'm not sure it's faked or not. But it's apparently some guy who was white knighting for him, and this sounds pathetic. So I've been talking to this sweet gal and buying her news for around 6 months. Thursday, I decided to finally invest in a lifetime subscription to a premium Snapchat. Then the thought audit happened, and now she has deleted all of her social media, and I can't message her. I am now not only down $500 with rent coming up, I have also lost a good friend. Fuck you, alt-right. Just fuck you. Like,
okay. Look, there's a fundamental difference between being stupid and being part of some kind of bizarre sex ritual thing. Okay, This strikes me as the same guy who would go out and put $500 down on an Xbox before rent was due. Okay.
Yeah, an incredibly sweet Xbox.
Oh, well, of course, a sweet Xbox. I mean, tricked out, hard drive, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. But
I mean, because that girl, I mean, she was a sweet girl.
Oh, please. You ever watch that show, Code Monkeys? Hey, who wants to come over and Skype with my internet girlfriend? Yeah. Okay, people getting taken for a ride like this is nothing new. It's how most people outside of Seattle make their money in Washington State. It's incredible.
This is something the quartering brings up. How moral is it? Now, like I said, I'm generally libertarian. People can do what they want. People can buy and sell, exchange services and goods. But how moral is it if you know someone? Well, it's kind of the old argument of giving alcohol to Native Americans. Back in the day, that used to be a moral argument people would have. I'm not sure. If you're a very hot woman and you know you can manipulate men to send you money for doing pretty much nothing, is it really moral to do that? That's how I remember the quartering bringing up in one of his streams. I don't know. Thoughts on that?
Who has morals anymore?
Well, okay. There's. I don't think it's so much. If you look at it ethically, and you can look at it from a couple different ethics points, in a utilitarian mindset, it doesn't matter. She's not bringing harm to anyone, and she might be actually contributing a positive force into someone else's life. If they want to look at her nice boobies, then they can. And if that makes them happy, then that in the utilitarian mindset is correct. However, on the other side, where you have Kantism, I think is how you say that.
Immanuel Kant?
Yes. Yes. So with his mindset, she is using that is more of a of the opposite of the utilitarian mindset in this case, where she is using men's want for something for her own means, so that she can pay for something financially. Whether that's actually morally right or wrong depends on the thing, because they're both using each other in this case for their own means. So let's say I hypothetically would pay for one of these to watch one of these cam girls, like premium streams or whatever. I'm using her as a means to get off. She's using my need to get off as a means to pay for her finances. And in this case, Kantianism would say that we're both in the wrong, because we're both using each other as a means to an end. Which is
are you acknowledging that, though? See, there is a difference. If someone says, give me a cigarette and I'll show you my tits, and you give her the cigarette and she shows you the tits, no one's the worst to wear. No one's actually being harmed. Now, if you say, "Oh, I love you so much. You're my best. You're the boyfriend I've always wanted. But oh God, I need $100. Can you give me $100? Oh, thank you. You're the greatest man in the whole world. And if I didn't live on the other side of the planet, I would date you. I would be with you. And then, all of a sudden you go, hey, guess what? Here's a $500 ticket. Come and live with me. Oh, I have to go water the fish now. I'll be back. I've got to go, pet the monkey or something, right? So in this, there's a difference between when you're using somebody, and the term that I've come to find is called a grifter. And I have actually encountered one of these people, and they are fucking dangerous. They can be. Yeah. And there's a difference when you say no harm is being done. No harm is being done as long as everyone is on an even playing field.
Right.
That all you're going to do is see some titties, and she knows that she's only going to get $20.
It all depends on intent.
Everybody's happy. Now, if she pretends to be your girlfriend and winds you up with some kind of tale of how wonderful you are, and if I can save up enough money, I can come live with you and we can be together, and we'll have the wonderful life that we've always wanted. And the guy is like, well, fuck. If she wants that, I'll start working towards that. And then all of a sudden, surprise, And she's like, surprise, you're one of 20 guys I tell the same shit to.
Yeah, and going back to what you said about Kant, everyone gets used by someone else for something. Look at basic marketing and advertising.
Right.
Carl's Jr. would sell burgers with a sexy supermodel. Yeah, it's your need for sex, so they're trying to sell it. As the saying goes, sex sells. So, and even the most basic aspect or facet of marketing and advertising, they're trying to exploit someone's need for something to sell a product, whether that's related or not to that need.
Right. Or required to fulfill that need.
So I mean that's a very poor indicator to use because that's so commonly done that it's not even a thing anymore.
And the funny thing is that we all universally share that need.
Yep.
Okay? Guys have the need to stick it in something as much as women have the need to have something stuck in them. Okay? Just to be crude about it. Okay?
American pie.
Why is it shameful for one side to express that and not the other?
Social upbringing with the history of the Americas being founded by Puritans. There you go. Plausible theory there.
Puritans bring on their own little corner of, oh my God, I'm going to stick it in the cow because I can't wait another 6 months.
Welcome to West Virginia.
West Virginia, that's Ride Your Sisterville.
Well,
where the family tree goes straight up.
Hey, me and sister wife here don't take kindly to what you're doing.
I know a couple that had the same last name before they married, live in West Virginia. Technically, they're actually not related, but they did have the same last name.
Oh wait, I know.
Okay,
that
but
I'd also smell Arkansas, but I have to reveal some family stories. I'm not prepared to do that on stream. So yeah.
I told this one girl on Twitter once something about she said something about I looked hot or something. I'm like, okay, sorry. I think you more as a little sister. I'll see you in West Virginia next month.
Yep. I've been up in near Seattle, and I've heard things like, hey, listen, my husband and my boyfriend are on a road trip. You want to come over and fuck tonight?
My husband and boyfriend.
Wow. Are on a road trip together. Do you want to come over? You want to come back to my place? And yeah. This is what these. Look, there's a magical place just outside of Seattle where people still go out into the woods and screw anyone they come in. They crawl into a tent and they screw whatever is in there. And they call these things relationships.
Isn't that called The Hills Have Eyes?
Something like that. It's kind of like the SCA, only with sex. Which shows my hate for SCA people, but hey.
Nice.
The Society for Complete Assholes.
Society for Consenting Adults is what I've heard it called.
Well, exactly. Okay. That's what it is to a point, but then again, it degrades into the same, bullshit that every other subculture, falls into. They just don't care to admit that.
My thought was Society for Creative Anachronism, so that tells you where my mind was going.
Right, no, I'm the same group. I just called them Society for Complete Assholes. I was part of the SCA for many a year, and I saw the bullshit that went in that place, and it was like, oh, hearketh, milady, I must put it in you, because your husband's not looking. I mean, they're almost as bad as White Knights. They're almost as bad as White Knights when it comes to that shit. I've had White Knights threaten to kill me before. It's ridiculous.
With what?
Yeah, the white days are a lot better.
With a rifle. They threatened me with a rifle, and they said that they were going to get their sniper rifle and come and kill me.
Was it a Nerf sniper rifle?
No. Let me explain this guy to you. Do you know the type of person who, maybe just barely outside of his 20s but hasn't reached 30 yet, and has an entire wall of ornamental swords from like every movie, every book, every TV show ever written?
Hey, I've got a subreddit to show you that kind of describes it right there.
I know somebody exactly like that, but go on.
And then they have the bookshelf, like with every fantasy fiction book ever written. And as soon as some girl walks up and says, oh, if only I had a hero to save me from this man who exposed me for ripping people off, he grabs the first ornamental sword that he thinks won't break when it hits something and goes charging out the door as fast as he can with an empty bottle of Mountain Dew rolling off of his stomach. And he's like, "Hearken, milady, I come here to saveth you so you can sucketh my dick." And,
I'm happy to say that's not every person, every guy that has the wall full of swords, but
some of them have real swords. They don't have the 1985 Spencer gift swords.
Yeah, it is pretty close.
I mean, there are people I know who collect swords. Okay, my evil twin brother. Okay, in New York, he collects swords. He's got fucking swords that you can take through concrete.
Do you have a non-evil twin brother?
No, I have an evil twin brother.
Okay.
My evil twin brother. That we named each other that years and years and years ago, back when we were partying in New York.
So you are also the evil twin, but
I'm the evil twin for sure. But
cool.
Look at it this way: have you seen the Addams Family, the first one?
Yeah.
He and I will run into the middle of a club and dance to the mamushka and yell, "Brother, brother!" Okay. There's only one thing that blows people's minds. Is that I'm a computer geek, nerd, long-haired, hippie-looking son of a bitch, and he looks like Blade. Like from the movie.
Damn. He's black, too.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like Blade. I mean, like 6 foot and change with the black leather and the swords at the back and all that shit.
See, I don't care what anybody... I love Blade. I thought that was a great movie series.
But the thing is, this guy, I mean, I'm sitting here, I look like the vampire Lestat on a bad Saturday night, and he looks like Blade, and we're sitting here dancing the mamushka and yelling lines from the Addams Family. Nice. That's why he called me his evil twin brother.
I like it.
One of the damn finest human beings you'll ever meet, but, goddamn, people freak out when we start partying.
That is quality. Okay, let's go ahead and move on from
maybe something technical this time.
Of the week to Caprico and vulnerability of the week. I think this is the one that was dropped at Wild West.
Was it?
Yeah.
Anybody sings the cool emoji version of Wild Wild West, and I will personally castrate you. I just want to get that out there.
Just gonna share my screen real quick here. All right, so this came up on my radar yesterday at about 11:30 last night. Vulnerability found in Cisco WebEx meetings, and I think I called this something "We meet at system." So, and it's a play on like we meet at 7. No, we meet at system. So, disclosed yesterday, at least from when this report was listed. I'm going to look at the CVE in a second here so I can get the actual release date. A vulnerability was discovered by Marcos Acasato. I hope I said that right. Probably not. From SecureAuth exploit writers team. Yep. And the release of today's vulnerability advisory was coordinated effort by both SecureAuth and Cisco. Reportedly used by millions of people each month. That's monthly, so that doesn't mean that's the total. It could be a lot more people have it and probably just don't use it a whole lot. The video conferencing product's flaw, which we'll get to the CV in a second here, impacts code execution into, and that's a weird word to use for this, uses code execution into Cisco WebEx meetings version 33.6.216 and likely older versions as well. So that's also something to keep in mind if your organization is using this and or you are using it yourself for a small business, because this is also tailored towards a lot of small businesses as well. In the proof of concept, the researcher wrote the vulnerability can be exploited by copying to a local attacker controller folder, the pt update.exe binary. Also, a malicious DLL must be placed in the same folder named webxtrace.dll to gain privileges. The attacker must start the service with the command line, and then he gives the command. And if one parameter doesn't work, then 2 should be used. Don't know exactly how that worked. But essentially what it's doing is it is injecting those DLLs into the actual into the application, so that when you reboot either your computer or restart that application, you will then get a session, or the attacker will then get a session and have system level access to your Windows machine, which is a little insane and kind of reminds me of kind of how System 32 deletions worked. It's like, it's all fine and dandy until you reboot.
Have they patched it yet?
Yes, there is a patch out already for this. However, and that gets into it right here. However, the vulnerability in the update service of Cisco WebEx Meetings desktop app for Windows, which is, man, I don't know what I was I obviously didn't read this last night very well, because this is really hard to read. It's just not worded well. Yes, there is one out. It was addressed in October and released to the public, but it is still out there. And I did a little bit of showed-in work yesterday. There's a possibility of a couple of these servers out there that you could probably get those, that you could probably see who's using it. However, it's a local app, so you would have to be on the same network. However, in terms of an internal network severity, like if you were to be doing this and you find this and exploit this in a pen test, this would easily gain a critical status for a vulnerability across the organization for all machines that are using this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like 99% certain this is the one that was presented at Wild West. If anybody wants, you can go back and see the original write-up on it in the show notes here. It's the skullsecurity.org.
Oh, you put that in there? Sweet.
Yeah, I'll repost it in this week too. But yeah, like the guy, I'm pretty sure has validated their original findings. Like that you're talking about here.
Yeah, it's interesting because I would think that it would have been, well, because Wild West Hacking Fest was in October. It was right after DerbyCon, right?
Yeah, like
so that
3 weeks. Yeah,
yeah. So that lines up with the timeline that we've got here, where it was disclosed. Probably they reported it in October, and was that talk recorded?
No. Wild West does not record.
Well, they normally do. They wanted to, but actually, why wasn't it? Because they told me I was originally scheduled to record, but because of some life situations, I wasn't sure I could make it. A month out, they said they had to go over a different videographer. And
I don't think any of the stuff was recorded.
So they didn't get a different videographer?
Not that I'll have to look.
They told me they got a different videographer.
Who is that guy we know who does all the videotaping of the cons and stuff?
That particular one, because of situations some of you know from offline, I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
If only we knew someone, if only there was a hero who could do this for us.
Like I said, I wasn't originally scheduled to do it, but
yeah, they did record. I was talking out my ass there. So, yeah, they did record all the talks.
However, for all of you penetration testers and researchers out there, I did link in the show notes. There is a Metasploit module out for this right now, as of 10/25. So this was actually released, I want to say, I'm going to assume, a little bit before that. Let me just skim over.
Isn't that pretty much a given? I mean, it's like it's part of the whole deal now. Whenever you release a vulnerability, it's like, oh, and here's the Metasploit module. It's like,
well, I mean, if you want, think of it this way: if you are, say, in my position where I do vuln assessments and penetration tests, and I find one of these vulnerabilities, having it there so that I can easily exploit it and then put it into my report, and then say, or even just say, like this, like the guy also wrote a check in here as well, and I'm just trying to find it real quick. Check. You can check it just by saying right here, it'll check to see if it actually has write access, and after that it just stops. It doesn't actually do the full exploit. So then you can then both internally for your own security teams. If you find this and you say, hey, is this an older version? Let me just try running the exploit on it real quick. Oh, this Metasploit module real quick that's been provided. Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's not fine. Address it, not. And if you're a pen tester and you find this, that's a way in to then pivot to more machines.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a pen tester, you're going to like exploit the crap out of that thing to find a system that hopefully still has DA creds sitting in memory and just extract those and keep going.
Even just other creds to different machines. Doesn't even have to be admin. Just keep going until you find someone that has a user, or to find a machine that has a user that is also a domain admin.
Yes.
So that is why they put it out with a lot of the time now.
Oh, and
it's the same reason Eternal Blue is there.
Yes. And at least Ed's group, and I'm sure a lot of others now, are looking into if there's any other services that can also be exploited the same way.
Yeah.
That, that all already have heightened privileges. I mean, because with this one, you don't have to, upgrade your privileges, nothing.
No,
like,
you get
admin access. Yeah.
You get system off the bat. Earlier this week, I'm now getting pinged by work. Hopefully that didn't show up on stream.
Yes, it was very confidential. Thank you. That was awesome information.
So this is coming straight from my coworker who is doing the same exact thing I am, and he is a fairly good source on hacking domain admin. He says all you need is local admin on one box, and that's it. So if you were to get, say you have your local admin running this vulnerable WebEx application, and you can then grab their hash, and it's the domain, it's a local admin. You then can go from there to the rest of the domain. There's another point that I was going.
I mean, if you snag local admin and everybody, a lot of organizations do have the same local admin password, so same hash. So yes, you could move through a lot of organizations that way that aren't properly segmented. But if they are doing it correctly, different local admin hashes, passwords, stuff like that, you're not necessarily going to use that method.
Well, every single machine has a different local admin password. That's such a new concept. I mean, how hard is it to deploy that?
We've only been talking about that since what, the beginning of time, but a lot of places still don't do that.
Well, you're also trying to compete against the uncrackable Sam, too. And yes, I'm being sarcastic.
I'm just saying, folks. I mean, people, you say things like that, and people laugh at you, and then they get owned, and then they still laugh, and you're like, and you got your job how?
Because they got breach insurance.
Breach insurance.
Hey guys,
I need corporate meeting insurance. So when I go to a corporate meeting and start laughing at these people, I can keep my paycheck for the next few weeks.
We know you need insurance. My goodness, AP, the stuff you be saying, the insurance is real.
Hey, look, Charles.
I haven't even told you the good stories yet. Okay, I'm saving the good stories for when we meet in person.
Yes, AP. I swear. I would have fun. You probably be the dude to just say, you know what? Why don't you just pull my pants around my ankles? Won't you? You probably say something like that.
I have said that before.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
with a lot.
What I said was having a forward-facing vulnerability is one thing. Bending over, dropping your pants, grabbing your ankles, and putting a neon sign on your back that says "Here it is" is another.
You know what? I can't with you, man.
There's one more point that I want to make towards Cisco. So going back from somehow segueing from that, I ran into another vulnerability that's been well known for a while. It is a CVE from I believe 2014. Mm-hmm. This was the same kind of exploit, except in this case, it wasn't injecting malicious DLL files or exe files like with this one. With this one, it was Cisco Sonic Wall. And it was a remote code execution vulnerability that was leveraging a XML, or it was injecting XML to then run a shell off of that, and it gave me straight root access. Now, initially,
on the Sonic Wall firewall.
Yep.
Nice. I like that.
Which, now that I'm thinking about it, I have to probably update that.
You know, they're coming over the firewall. Yes, gas.
Like, I saw it, and I'm pretty, and this was an internal, and this was internal, so it should be fine. Gave it a critical.
Yeah, why are we allowing any out to a server in AWS? I don't know. but obviously we can't change it and stop it until it's our scheduled maintenance time. So
right,
which is in 3 months.
You know, I used to have this really cool job where I had 300 machines under my foot, right? And they were various things like Snort and Bro and
Toasters,
this virus and Dingleberry Incorporated and all this shit. Every day, I would one end to the other. Yeah. I would check every one of these machines to make sure the firmware was current and the signatures were current every day. And it was like at 2:00 every day. And if it needed to be updated, guess what? It got updated in the window that night. And it's like, people don't understand it. Well, that's overkill. That's just making busy work. That it's keeping your ass from getting owned. Yep. You want to wait till next quarter during your scheduled downtime when you're in Hawaii, you know, looking at Snowden's girlfriend on the stripper stage. That's fine. You know, and then the whole thing will blow up. You'll get owned 6 ways from Sunday. Or you get a geek, you lock him in a room, you got 2 holes in the door, one for instructions, one for pizza, and they make sure your shit is tight on a daily basis. I mean, what is wrong with it? Why is this fundamental, basic concept lost on so many hyper-educated, C-level sons of bitches who talk like they couldn't find their shoes?
Well, you got to remember, too, where, you know, enterprise came from when it comes to patching just in general. It came primarily down the Windows road that had tons and tons of issues in the 2000s and prior. Their patches now aren't all that bad, but most full-scale enterprises are going to have a test, you know, network if they're doing it right, where they're going to be letting them bake for even a week. So we're going to, at very minimum, in most places, if they're trying to keep up even, going to be a week behind.
You're going to make my head explode by saying that, because...
And those are the guys who are actually testing. There's a massive amount who aren't even testing, who run on a month-after basis and let it bake out in the general public, and if stuff arises, then they don't issue out the patch. So,
yes, that's called we fix it in production. And as a matter of fact, there was one segment of the DoD network that was hit awfully bad by it, and yeah, that person was no longer allowed to do anything with patching.
Yeah, and then past that, that's just Windows. What always takes a second key? Applications. So whenever we're talking about WebEx vulns and everything else, I mean, all that takes second hand to Windows being patched.
Right. And also with something like this, you would hope that there's some distributed application management system or something like that. I know my university had something similar to what I'm trying to describe, where each computer was hooked up through the network that it could then have those applications be updated via via some sort of central command center. And I'm,
yeah, they're like Altiers did that. There's a product called BMC. I mean, crap, what was that company? But I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that does that. But when you deploy those updates, I mean, depending upon where you are, how big they are, the company, you are going to have a master server. And then if you're large enough, and you have to scale, then you're going to have like relay servers. And so you got to get that patch from the master to the relays, and then the relays have to distribute out to the clients. And a lot of places, will like straight up as soon as they can, but it's still going to be probably 2-3 days, distribute out to the clients, desktops and laptops. Hardly anybody is going to ever touch a server like that.
It also depends on how critical it's labeled the patching, because I mean we've had to drop things on a dime, especially when it came to what was that last critical vuln? But yeah, we had to drop on a dime, and if
Eternal Blue.
Yeah.
I mean that was the last like huge one that I know of.
And I mean that was drop everything, and we're now on this pacing.
But was that also servers, or was that just desktops?
It was everything.
So you didn't do any bake in at all, nothing for servers, like straight.
No, it was flat out. Hey, look, this is because it was determined based upon a risk that fixing a server, as opposed to just flat out patching, and what the fuck ever happens past this point is whatever happens. So
no shit.
Rip that guy. I'm forgetting his name, but he was a cool dude.
Ollie Ummy.
Yep, thank you. Brings me back to when I was 12 watching Full Metal Jacket with my dad.
Oh, don't lie. You're upset because you heard this week that the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants passed away.
You do. Not a lot of people know this. Well, I never watched SpongeBob as a kid.
Oh, wow. Well, not a lot of people watch SpongeBob as an adult.
You are such a closet SpongeBob watch.
Dude, there are grown people who watch SpongeBob as if they were a kid.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
It's the ultimate non-thinking Dadaism. It's Dada for the masses. It really is.
There's plenty of
perfect.
There's plenty of adults who watch SpongeBob right now. There's also plenty of adult males who watch My Little Pony. So that's not exactly a high bar to cross.
There is a difference between the two. There's a very big difference. Have you seen the My Little Pony video about that?
No.
My Little Brony.
I don't want to know.
I'll link that to you, man. You got to.
I won't watch it.
You have to. We may have to force you to watch it.
Nope. You can't force me to do anything. There are things in this world that sometimes you just don't need to know. You don't need. It doesn't matter. I know that they exist, but I don't need to know why.
Oh, what you mean, like Republicans?
Okay. But I don't know. I'm not commenting on that. There you go.
Link is in the group chat. Oh, by the way, last week I talked about the Russian statues that were being painted over to look like American superheroes. I put that link in the chat this week. I found the link a couple days ago.
Lol. Yeah, I wasn't here. I was driving 7 hours.
Yeah, so, there's this epidemic going on where people in Russia are they're going to these old monuments to communism and they're repainting them, the people on the monuments, as American superheroes.
That's hilarious.
I thought that was in Bulgaria.
Oh, Bulgaria, Russia, it's all the same shit.
No, not anymore. Not anymore. Those lines have been drawn again.
Iceberg, Eystein, it's all the same.
Yeah, Caprico went in there. He cleaned it up.
Yes, AP, I know where that joke is from. I got that one.
Thank you. I'd like to say we'll have a moment of silence for anyone who didn't get that joke.
I think we should explain it then. You probably remember better than I do, but
no, I can't do that because I don't want to get labeled a you know what.
Oh, okay.
Darren's like, okay,
a 49-year-old.
I'm sure how it starts. I know how it ends. I'm sure how it starts.
Somebody is not getting a Christmas card this year.
Oh, I didn't get one any other year.
Oh, Bob, say it!
Okay, here it is. A Chinese man and his Jewish friend were walking along one day when the Jewish man whirled and slugged the Chinese man and knocked him down. What was that for? The Chinese man asked. That was for Pearl Harbor, the Jewish man said. Pearl Harbor? That was the Japanese. I'm Chinese. Chinese, Japanese, you're all the same. Oh, they continued walking after a while, and the Chinese man whirled and knocked the Jewish man to the ground. What was that for? The Jewish man asked. That was for the Titanic. The Titanic? That was an iceberg. Iceberg, Goldberg, you're all the same. Oh. Yeah, that's an old one.
Yeah.
Hey, Ethan!
I miss hanging out at bars and having offensive joke contests. Just
Oh, I mean, there's shit I won't even say in a bar because I mean, like, I know I'll get killed for it. I'll stay at home with my wife. Oh yeah, we go, no problem with that.
There was one I remember that there was a plane going out, and there was a Frenchman, an Englishman, a Texan, and a Mexican all on board, and we had one parachute. So,
oh god,
he was the most bravest, and the Englishman says, "God save the Queen," and jumps out the plane. Well, the Frenchman didn't want to be outdone by an Englishman, so he said, "Vive la France!" Jumped out of the plane. The Texan finally stood up and says, "Oh well, gotta do what I gotta do. Remember the Alamo," and threw the Mexican out.
Yep.
Damn straight.
That's like the old chain gang story.
Remember the Alamo?
Yeah. Oh, you know why there were only 300 Mexicans at the Alamo?
This is Mexico.
Yeah, you know why?
They're sleeping, probably.
No, they could only get 2 trucks.
And as someone who lives in Texas, oh boy, I get that. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, why didn't they just go to Home Depot?
Yeah, they could have found plenty more at the Home Depot. Yeah.
Well, talking about the English and the French reminds me of one. So as a Frenchman, an Irishman, and a Scotsman were along, and they found a lamp, and they rubbed it, and a genie came out. And the genie goes, "Thank you for freeing me. I'll give each of you a wish." The Scotsman goes, "I want Scotland to be forever fertile and have great harvests." And the genie goes, "It is so," and so it was. The Frenchman goes, "I want to keep France pure, so I want France to be sealed off from everyone else and have no one else invade and harm our purity." And the genie goes, "It is so." And he surrounds France with a wall. And the Englishman thinks for a second and goes, "Tell me about this wall." He's saying it's 50 feet thick, 500 feet high, and nothing can get in or out. The Englishman goes, "Fill it with water."
Oh, that's a variation on the chain gang one.
Okay.
But I didn't get the joke.
So France was surrounded by a giant impenetrable wall, so the Englishman said, "Fill it with water." Yeah. Put it underwater. Yep. And I should say that I do have a hatred for the French because I used to work for them.
Well,
Yeah. I've got some French buddies.
Monkeys. Ooh, hello. I'll be back.
Yeah, shout out to the Romersalon gang, all the Frenchies. You guys are cool. Especially what you guys did with the pineapple. That was funny.
Whoa, what you did with the pineapple? That sounds kinky.
Pineapple bong.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Drugs don't lead to drugs. Drugs lead to carpentry.
I thought maybe they turn into a cantaloupe.
I make a bong out of this pineapple. I make a bong out of this apple. I make a bong out of this anything,
I was going to say,
Dennis Leary was Dennis Leary who said that.
Hello. Okay. Adrian, you have something?
I was going to say leads to arts and crafts is what hot smoking does, drugs.
I just macrame'd my asshole.
I just macrame. who is it? One of the guys from Korn had a saying like that too. Head from Korn. That sounds really weird when I say it out loud.
Yeah, that's like tip from Korn.
Yeah, Head is the, I believe he's the bassist. I never really looked at it. He just had a really funny story. He was on an interview where he was going through like his Wikipedia page and saying if it was true or false. And he got into the point where he used to do like hard drugs when the band was first starting out. And he said, "No, you don't get dumb, you get crafty." And he like told of like, and this is back post 9/11, where he would take deodorant and take all of the deodorant out, stuff his drugs in there, and then put the deodorant back into it.
Wow.
Yep. And then that would get through dogs and security.
And I used to smoke a lot of USB sticks that way.
Okay, Edward.
I've done that. I've used that for data exfiltration before.
Okay.
Mr. Snowden.
Oh, please.
So you guys were talking about the artsy stuff, you know, but here in Columbus, we for probably the last 10 years had a thing called Rock on the Range, and I mean general rock concert. Always had the biggest groups, and probably like 50 of them. I mean, large scale event, like 3 different stages, like big.
Wasn't that where Bob Dylan's first? No, I'm thinking of it.
No. Oh, wait, yeah, that was way older than this.
Yeah.
But now they've changed it into, because there were like 2 owners and one of the owners separated, and so the final owner is now 100% over it, and they've decided to rename it into Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival. I still feel like this is going to be just like a straight up hippie event now. I mean, the bands are still awesome, but I feel like, you know, we're going to walk into like art booths and stuff prior to going into the stadium to listen to actual music.
You don't have to worry so much about the hippie part of it, because the hippies are gone. Okay, you'll have the fake hippies.
Hey man,
I mean like the Capricos.
Hey, listen, you want to go back to my BMW and smoke some reefer? You know, I mean,
Cappy drives a Dodge Charger. Come on, as long as he can keep it up and running.
Oh yeah, right. You don't go to festivals. You don't go to festivals and see hippies the way you used to. Like, I mean, dyed in the wool. You know, I'm making bead necklaces to sell to people so I can take my car to the next concert. You know,
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling that vibe right now, though. Well, we'll see.
With the concert, not with Cappy.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I totally know that you make beads on the side. You're not fooling anybody.
The funny thing is, there's a market for shit like that, and it's weird.
I mean, it's called Pinterest.
Yeah, I mean that's what 16-year-olds
Pinterest
do.
And Etsy and all that.
Etsy.
Shit.
That was the one that I meant to say. I just couldn't remember it. I'm like, people do it on Pinterest.
When you start, I mean, the thing is, you have to let go of a little shame. But once you let go of a little shame, you can sit at home and glue 2 things together and sell it for $5.
All right.
I mean, I do this myself. I have an OSHA sticker printer, and I make custom OSHA warning labels on actual legitimate, you know, chemical resistant OSHA sticker paper.
Nice.
Except mine say things like, well, you've seen the ones where the guy's wearing the face mask and it says, you know, flying debris, wear protection. The ones I make say, porn viewing area, wear headgear. You know, and things like that. You know, I make all the bizarre custom shit you would want using actual OSHA symbols, and I sell them for $2 a piece.
Yeah,
this sounds promising.
I'm trying to market it a little more. It hasn't really gotten out there yet, but I have a really nice one. It's an orange warning label with the Kali Dragon on it, and it says "Warning: Kali Linux installed on this machine."
Oh, I need to get one of those, or like 10.
Yeah, $2 a piece.
Because I probably have like 10 of them.
The thing is, they're like 3" by 6". These are big fucking stickers.
Oh, Can you make some smaller ones?
I can make it maybe a little smaller, but I'd have to get some more stock.
Yeah, like a 2x2 or a 3x3.
These are all like sanctioned. These are all sanctioned OSHA approved stickers.
Yeah, that would be a massive ass sticker.
Yeah,
that takes up a lot.
3-inch. Yeah.
That's a lot of landscape.
That's a lot. Yeah, a lot of real estate. Like Street has started. I've been thinking about getting a hard cased suitcase. I mean, because I do travel an okay amount, but getting a hard case suitcase because Street puts a lot of stickers on a suitcase and being like, yeah, I may do that just so I can throw stickers on a suitcase.
Yeah, those hard cases are awesome. I need to pick one up. Look up Pelican cases.
No, you cannot make me.
Oh, I'm saying look them up and then find. Let me finish.
I don't trust anywhere from a 16-year-old.
All right. Well.
Oh no, Pelican cases are getting cheaper now. They're not as hellish as they used.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get good deals on Amazon Prime on a Pelican case.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Check out Pelican and Storm both. They're both pretty good.
I haven't heard of. I know Pelican. I used to work with a lot of musicians, and like for all their gear, transporting here and there, they would only use Pelican.
Yeah.
And hard drives. I've done a lot of hard drives.
Shit. I mean, they are hands down the thing you want, but they can get pricey.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. It's a case that is virtually impossible to break open. They show them be driven by trucks, and hey, it's fine. Maybe a little scuffed, but it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. My boss had a story about this once where he had a Pelican case, and he was moving to go on site for a physical engagement with all of his stuff. He had it in a Pelican case, and the guy he was with did not. He just had it in like a normal carry briefcase kind of laptop bag. Put it in the back of the cab. Cab gets hit by a semi. Pelican case is fine, but the entirety of the other guy's stuff was just obliterated to basically dust.
Oh, that sucks.
Yes, and that was about, I think he said it was a couple thousand in gear, because it wasn't just like a laptop. It was like laptop, some pen test drop boxes, some other stuff, some other tools as well. Probably some Hack 5 shit in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I put one up there on the screen share so you can.
Oh my god! I looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then I looked down. And demonetized.
Here you go. The state of California has determined that the consumption of Mexican food may result in the discharge of intestinal gas.
I was telling Jew jokes earlier when we were already demonetized. It's not banned.
Oh, there you go. There's one for the convention for convention time.
Yeah, 12 hours. Yes.
Yeah, but that's less funny and more informative and more telling people about the fucking smell.
Well, I mean, I try to do good for the community now and then.
Oh, speaking of convention, Adrian, are you doing SecureCon this? I think it's this upcoming weekend.
Yes, Secure West Virginia / HackerCon.
Yeah.
Is
that your last one for the year?
That's my last one for the year.
Okay. Cool.
Next one after that, it's vaguely scheduled, and like I said, the life changes that I may have to cut back on cons some. Unfortunately, my version of cam whoring isn't that profitable. I do it for expenses. But yeah, I got that up, and apparently I may be doing after that. The next one might be B-Sides Long Island.
If you were more into pasties, your acceptance rate would probably be higher.
To them, though, and it's really painful when I take them off.
Yeah, I get.
Well, you got to know how to take them off. You don't take them off. You have somebody lick them off for you. Okay, so how many of you actually pasties? How many of you looked?
God damn it.
No. So people are going to say we have white supremacist iconography on the channel now.
Well, no. Here's a geek one for you. There you go.
Dude, you need to put the Aperture logo on there somewhere.
I didn't want to get sued. Like this one here, I got a few people yelling at me about.
Go back to the OK one again. What did it say on it? I didn't see the text.
Which one?
Wait, the OK one.
Oh, it just said you looked.
You looked.
Yeah. See, there it is. You looked.
I flipped it upside down to make it more like the normal Circle game. That said, people will still bitch and moan.
Well, the one with the cat bus, people bitched and moaned because I was stealing artwork from whatever his name is.
I should know this.
Yeah, I should know it too, but
it's the same guy who made Totoro.
Yeah, exactly.
William Shimmy.
No! Don't mess me up. I almost had it.
Purple.
I want to make a poster out of this. I want a poster made of this. I don't know if you guys know this, okay? AC/DC, many, many moons ago, did the most horrible song they ever made. It was called Cyberspace. And they were just, Billy Idol released an album called Cyberspace or whatever. And they were just jumping on the train, right? But when you read the lyrics to this song, it is beyond comprehension how a band like AC/DC could make a song like this. And that's why whenever anyone says cyber around me, I always show them this. And I want to put this on a giant-ass poster.
Gotta see that. Close up.
Hightail in your face, black hole rocking the place, Hong Kong videos, Big Bang, mad to flow, mad to blow into cyberspace.
Honestly, it kind of sounds like Twitter.
It sounds like Kenny Loggins' song Danger Zone, except, with a lot less, reference.
Mm-hmm. Blow you into cyberspace. Yeah.
I had more of those stickers, damn it.
Okay, while you're looking up the stickers, Cappy, did you add this other part?
Yeah, so...
Good, because I think this would be good to talk about.
Yeah, so this came up yesterday. It was on my mind because one of my friends, who I actually was roommates with over in the Netherlands, hit me up yesterday, and he said, "Hey, I'm teaching a class on cybersecurity for this marketing class, and it's a more marketing tiered thing, and it's some requirement that I need for college, and I have no idea what to talk about. Can you help me?"
And signed Jeff Anderson, CSO.
Signed John McAfee.
Oh, careful now. Somebody might bite your dick off.
Whatever. That's just like their opinion, man.
You see that John McAfee tweet here recently about fucking whales?
Yeah.
Before we get too side railed on that, in the notes I put up a topic of where to start, because these were some answers to questions that I was thinking might come up, and actually most of them did.
Well, and let's discuss down a little bit a couple of these at least, since we are security centric. What would everybody say in regard to a programming language? I have two that I can think of right offhand that I think people should know.
I like Python for simple scripts, man. It's got a lot of good libraries. It's fairly easy. Up in version changes that fuck your code base up.
They do. I totally agree. But Python is one of my two.
It's going to get you in the ass in the end.
Yeah,
it's going to get you.
Yeah, but if it's a modern one, at some point,
it doesn't. You're still going to get your ass.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah.
Incompatibility when you do the shuffle, you download some program and it's got all these dependencies. You can't get them because they're not in the repository, and you spend the next 20 minutes ripping your pubic hair out because the thing doesn't work.
Well, that's what pip is for.
Yeah, and then the next 20 minutes you fix it, and then you go on, and life goes on.
That's assuming it's in pip.
Okay, so
come on, Bash. You can't go wrong with Bash.
There you go.
You can if you want to make something vaguely complex that runs in less than 20 seconds.
It's like, okay, yes, you can fuck up Bash if you don't know what you're doing. Congratulations, I've done it many a time myself. But when it comes to something that's going to be pretty much universal, and you can share with anyone, and it's not going to fuck up their day, it's going to be Bash.
Yeah, the only thing Bash can't do is any kind of floating point math. That's the only downside.
Oh, and that's for you need floating point math and scripting.
I know. I'm just saying that's there actually have a few cases where I've needed it and I couldn't do it, so I had to kind of do a workaround. But those times are few and far between.
I am Corn Julio. I need T3 for my Cisco.
All right. So
you should feel bad.
So far, we've got Python and Bash. Those are two that I very much appreciate to have. However, and because they're simple to use for people that are getting started, and they're also simple to read. They're human readable. They're pretty human readable, rather than some of the other languages.
Yeah,
and you can show Python to a 3-year-old that barely knows its ABCs and it could probably understand it. Like
you can show Python to a 3-year-old, it'll throw a fit because it's like, what do you mean everything has to line up or else the program crashes?
My other one, and you guys may not like this,
has its limits, but it's so widely loved.
Yeah. Go ahead,
my other one, and like I said, you guys may not like this, but PowerShell.
Well, no, PowerShell is Bash for Windows. I mean, that's
exactly. From a Windows perspective, you can do anything on a Windows system with PowerShell.
Yeah.
Anything.
There's no shame in that.
And that's probably the newest edition that I would put on on my list.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's also got a learning curve like a 12-year-old's chest. I mean, it's 90 degrees straight up. I mean, that's going to take you a while to pick up.
Well, I mean, if you think about if you're a Windows technician or Windows engineer, and you're that's what your learning curve is. It's 90 degrees because it's proprietary software.
Bash, the most complicated thing you have to worry about is an if loop where it's if and then it's if and then fi to close the loop.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Python. Oh my god.
But I mean, at the end of the day, if we're not talking about which languages are better, we're better for actual use. There's a use case for each language. I'm just saying that these are places to start, and all of these are good places to start.
Yeah, my two use cases are primarily coming from a red team perspective.
Exactly. Well, you can, and I would say even for a blue team perspective, all of these are good for a blue team perspective.
Yes.
If you're I took a class right before I graduated in networking automation and security, and the point of it was
who was it taught by? Was it taught by Mick?
No. What?
Yeah, there's a guy named Mick Douglas, really good guy. He's a SANS instructor now, all that fun stuff. But he does PowerShell defense, and does classes on that, and
it wasn't
they are some good classes.
Yeah, it wasn't PowerShell. It was on
his house. Yeah.
Okay. It was on Python, and we were learning how to automate our networks to the point that we could say and know exactly what was going on in our networks, and also configure them on the fly. That way.
Cool.
Yeah, all using Python and using one module, which was the Paramico module. Granted, it was a summer class. We didn't get too in depth because we only had a month.
Now, whenever you say configuring your networks on the fly, so you had Python talking through to the router, to like the switches and routers?
Correct. So
see, that's cool.
So in this case, it was Python has a module or library called Paramico, which is essentially telling Python, hey, SSH into this box, run this command.
Oh, okay.
And do it that way. If you can, and then you obviously would have to test it so that to see like, okay, if I run this configuration and make sure that all of these options are correct, and I do them in the correct order because it was Cisco iOS and it sucks to work with sometimes. And I don't know
that's the industry standard.
Industry standard because there's no one freaking else except Ubiquity, which is starting to make a trend.
There's a lot of competitors. They just all tend to use Cisco's interface.
Because it's easier to take something that already works that people know rather than make something better.
The cost of transition is not a trivial thing. If you can't make something that will not cause your network engineers to kind of give up and just screw up constantly, then
But the thing is that's assuming that you have to deal with transition. Fuck transition. We're the new latest thing. We're new. You want to transition? Fine, but you know what? We're new. Just put our new shit in there.
Well, enjoy not having a functioning network.
Yeah, because if you've never had anything before, if I decided to start a dildo factory tomorrow and I've got no network, no nothing, and I've got a checkbook, I can go and get something that's brand new and just put it in there. And you never heard of Cisco. Cisco who? This is fucking Iron Forge in here, Oh, well, shit.
Yeah. Fine. You go ahead and have fun with your Dell Brocade Amiga.
No. Who said Dell now? That's just
you go have fun with all your random ass switches that all of them on their bargain bin sales, 15 years out of date. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, and then
you go have fun with that in your bad Dragon factory.
I'll save them, take the money I saved, buy a car, and go visit you at Burger King.
But in the same sense, also,
I want my fries well done.
Run by Cisco Burger King. They have a functioning network.
Nice.
Tell me, you know what? If you want to be a Cisco engineer at Burger King, God bless you. I got a dildo factory.
Hey, you know what? You know what? People with a functioning network can, call or contact over the internet. You got to drive over. There's a reason for that.
All right. Enough.
Yeah, because I want to show off my new car.
Speaking of networks.
Yes, I do have one more thing.
Unlike people like you, my brand new red Ferrari isn't in GTA 5. It's in a parking lot.
AP,
so,
chill.
One other point. Yeah, one other point to that, though. Think about colleges and what they're teaching.
Right.
They are teaching on Cisco. And for the most part, only Cisco.
Right.
What colleges are teaching is there aren't enough women in sys administration, and you need to get our percentages up.
This is network engineering. This is a different topic. Oh, and Mary's on, so now she's going to chew your ass out.
Well, that's what colleges are teaching now. They're not teaching sys administration.
I like my Cisco, and I can perfectly use that and translate over to Juno or fucking Juniper or whatever fucking else.
Yeah, but you're a sysadmin. I'm talking about what colleges are teaching. Colleges, you don't get to take Cisco 101 in college.
Yes, I do. I took it at Ivy Tech. They give us all 4 classes.
Yeah, that's a tech school, not a college.
Let me interject here for a second. Let me interject here for a second. Yes, we did. For my IT degree, we did have Cisco iOS course. It was wrapped into our networking course where we had to both do theory of how networks work and also into actually setting up switches and also setting up mesh networks.
Cisco had an educational program for high school kids to do that, and they dropped it. Piss me off because they never had it. They had a high school elective program where you go in there and you learn.
You're so pissed off at Cisco.
No, I'm not pissed off at Cisco for that. I'm pissed off at Cisco because all their classes are fucking $5,000 and nobody can fucking afford them.
Mine's not $5,000. The Netacad class I think was like maybe $300 a piece for them. Maybe.
And how many did you have to take?
4.
So $1,200.
Yeah, no, I don't think even that much. But it was
3, 6, 9, 12. I can still count. Trust me on this one.
That was an estimation.
But it's over the course of like a couple years. You have to do it all at once, and it's all 4, and that was all 4. And honestly, if you guys really want it, I copied fucking everything.
Yes. And that is one thing I want to do as a personal project is collect all of the documentation and shit like that. And
if you really do, I'm gonna get myself in trouble now. They're gonna kick me. But no,
I'll put it on a server in Indonesia and give it away for free to anybody who wants it.
That's just it. I have all of it. and that because that's my notes. So not only do I have everything that came on the slides and all the labs and everything else, I also have my personal notes tying them back into Irongeek's videos for shit that was relevant for all my classes. That's how I take notes. I take everything and then I annotate it.
So real quick,
yeah,
real quick over on YouTube, Mr. Milan said Cisco or Hawaii or Huawei. How do they pronounce that?
Huawei.
Way? Huawei? Way?
I don't know.
Cisco or Way, what a choice. And like Cisco has had a few backdoors over the years. These are very well published. Way are intentional, 100%. They have backdoors consistently. I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot
There was like
pole.
what 5 backdoors the past year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Most of them were related to their new product.
Right.
That have
most of them were related to their new products, to my understanding, and so I would say plausibly they could have been debugged backdoors.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
Well, I mean, if you want to go down that route, there's also been a backdoor in Juniper that was disclosed 2 years ago.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, everybody has had a backdoor here. Well, probably not everybody.
I love backdoor.
I know you know about the backdoor. But a lot have had backdoors, but they've been more so incidental.
For Juniper's backdoor, for Juniper's backdoor, that seemed a little bit more like a nation state put it in rather than anything else. That was not a debugging backdoor.
Yeah,
it was.
But the same
you had a specific username, which looked like it could have been just random garbled text from memory dump. If you didn't know what you were looking for, it was very easy to miss if you reverse engineering. You put that in the username field, any password, you own the box.
Yes, but in
that was not a debugging backdoor.
Why or way? Knowing the nation state that they come from and how forceful they've been with the network, with their internal networks. I would say most of theirs have probably been intentional.
Oh God, yeah. Huawei, China's pretty shameless.
Yes.
That said, the U.S. foreign policy with regard to sanctioning Huawei has been less than ideal. When they say don't use Huawei's stuff because China, without substantiating that anymore, you get into a situation where other nations ask, okay, then why should we use Cisco stuff?
Yeah.
Should we just stop using them because America? You need something more than just China.
Yeah.
Can you use anything that doesn't have China's fingerprints on it somewhere?
If you want to pay a lot more.
The networking
kind of free.
Yeah, the networking gear I wouldn't touch at all, ever.
So to kind of go back to the list, we're touching on it now. The next thing on the list was learn networking, and we've been talking about that for the last 10 minutes or so. Yeah, learn how networks work. Even at just a base level, start toying around with GNS3. It is a Cisco
emulator.
Cisco emulator. Thank you, Liz. You can use that. There's also some there's some courses on test out. I did them in a very jam-packed crash course. It was a full semester. That I'm gonna stop.
If you check on eBay, you can probably get some very cheap excess Cisco gear.
Yeah.
If you want to build your actual lab.
Well, there's some good Cisco simulators out there too.
Yeah, GNS3 is the simulator we were talking about.
But
I think the best route these days is to go through it. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, Packet Tracer is not half bad, and you can.
That too.
There's 2 versions. There's the version you get when you sign up for Neticat, and then they do have an open free version available. It is, you can do an awful lot screwing around with it.
Up your volume.
I
can barely hear you.
I second the eBay side of getting something, playing around with it at home. If you have never ran out of memory when needing to upgrade iOS, I mean, granted, this is mainly going to be network engineers, whatnot, but most security people never have to touch this. But if you have never ran out of memory on a Cisco device when needing to upgrade iOS, you have not lived.
I would like to drop something on you folks, which has been a dirty secret amongst people I know for many, many, many years. So it may not be a secret anymore after I tell you, but if you are looking for that kind of used gear, okay, there is an eBay shop. It's called the Nevada Center for the Blind. Now, bear with me. The state and federal and local governments all dump their gear on this and it's a massive tax write-off. Everything goes to a charity, so everything you buy can be written off. And they have high-end gear like you would not believe, like 110 port switches, and entire bay stacks. You never know what these people are going to have, and it's all cheap. It's mostly free shipping, or you can pick it up if you're local. And it's a tax write-off, and you can get some serious hardcore pro gear there for very little coin.
They still have just like generalized eBay auctions though, right?
Yeah, you can.
No, most 90% of the stuff is buy it now.
Yeah, so I've got it pulled up here. Right now, it's all buy it now. They have 8 different switches that are 8 different kinds of switches. I don't know how many they have in stock, but yeah, for around, if you've got like maybe
holy shit, the 3560 and PoE for 48 port for 75. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got a freaking
dirty secret. I've for like the last 5 years. This is where I buy the majority of my gear from.
Nice.
Hey, and if you guys missed Giving Tuesday, there you go. You can now get a Cisco Swish, and you're giving to people. Yay!
I don't know how I got my 6500 so cheap, like $120 off of eBay, 6500 for Soup 720.
Another thing to also,
and if you don't know what that is, it weighs easily over 100 pounds when you have everything in it.
Yes,
shipping alone should have.
And it costs also $500 in electricity a month to run.
Yeah, right.
This is where I'm getting my iPads for my Stephen Hawking special.
Yes, there's a reason why it's the paperweight. It's a paperweight.
Another thing to also consider as well.
The thing is, it's going on the Stephen Hawking special.
Okay. What was the other thing?
I'm getting outfitted for a little mobility.
Holy crap!
So I can put an iPad on an arm, and if it gets smashed into a wall, then it's $100. Who cares? It's not like a $5,000 iPad, but I can have something that's stuck to the side of the chair, that I can beep beep boop boop on.
Beep boop. Beep beep. Okay, beep beep boop 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 boop. What were you about to say, Cap?
Another thing that you can do as well, since we're on finding cheap gear, to build out your network and probably even start your own rack, and this is part of the bonus points where you start making your own lab. You can also grab end of life in terms of like data centers, their servers. So my buddy who was a sysadmin back at my last company, he put me onto this where I picked up a Dell PowerEdge R710 It was only a quad core, or it was a 2 quad core server with 16 gigs of RAM. Wasn't that beefy of a machine, but it's a server. You can it had a RAID card in it, and had all that stuff. It wasn't the greatest. It's not the greatest RAID card, but it's still a RAID card.
Right, you got the job done.
This one time in California, we were given.
This one time at Bandcamp,
we were given 60 servers that were retired from a data center that they just didn't want to keep in storage anymore, and I gave them away for Halloween. People came to my door and they got a server.
I need to move again.
In my early years in New York, we used to collect the shit from data centers like that, and we had a rebuild, restore, and classes and stuff like that. But you would be amazed how cheap or for free you can get stuff when people are clearing out.
Yeah, I only paid. I think I paid about $90 for that thing, and that was a fun call to get from my mother when it showed up at my parents' house. What is this box?
Yeah. Also, if you guys ever check out Amazon, I just recently purchased a NUC, like current gen Intel NUC, Yep, with an i5, but it was used for $200 off of Amazon even.
Yeah. Now, is that Amazon Marketplace or is that just Amazon proper?
That's like general Amazon, because like Amazon will have like what they're selling for, and then there will be the other sellers. Like always make sure you check out those other sellers.
Because it's called Marketplace or something like that, didn't they?
Well, Facebook has their marketplace.
No, I mean inside of Amazon there's a place called Amazon Marketplace or place where people sell their used shit.
I don't know. I mean, because like if you have a regular product, you know, the Amazon's selling at whatever their retail price is. If there's other people selling that same product, it'll show there. Like underneath.
It says like I'm looking at it. I'm trying to find it right now. It's like other sellers on Amazon. There it is.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But like the thing I just bought, I mean, it's current gen. It's an i5. I'm throwing 16 gig of RAM in it, and I'm gonna have $300 in an i5, like current gen i5 with 16 gig of RAM. I already have the SSDs, so I have like a 2.5-inch SSD and an M2. So no, I already had it. So $300 in.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna segue. So you got something quick?
Just a quick thing about used gear. The fact that Bitcoin is taking a giant shit. And there are entire Bitcoin mines that are going under and liquidating and blowing up. Do you think now is a good time? We may see a surge of high-end, cheap video cards out there?
No.
They're still going to hold on to them.
No, they are reselling them, but you don't want to buy them.
They're like shutting doors and dying.
Here's the thing with that though. Since they were mining Bitcoin, those were always on, always running at about at 100%. And now their life expectancy of that actual card is going to be less than if you would just say, wait until the GTX 20 series,
which is out.
Which is out, but it's just out. It's only been like a month, right?
It's been like 2 or 3, I think. It's been
2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
2 or 3 months. Once you wait for those cards, like the 900 series, the 10 and the 10 series to go down. Like I've been rocking the 900 series since it launched, and I have not wanted to move up at all. So and I'm doing like small like password cracking and just gaming on it, and I'm fine.
That's the thing. If it's been on 24/7 mining Bitcoin forever, fine. But you're looking at a $2,000, $3,000 video card for a couple $100 that you can play Batman Begins on.
The problem is,
you're not going to get that fucking card for so cheap. I've been looking around. Most I saw for Bitcoin mining rigs are being sold out where people selling the cards in bulk, like 24 card mining rig. It's like, I'm not going to spend. Yes, they might have 24 cards all hooked up together for $2,000, but it's still a little bit rich for my blood, even though it's 24 fucking cards.
If you want, or Liz, if you want to send me that link, a link to one of those, I would appreciate it.
I last saw that like 5 months ago.
Okay. If you see any more, let me know.
Keep 2 of the cards, sell the rest on eBay, and make your money back.
And just to point out, some of these guys that are still trying to mine off of video cards, I mean, they were making kind of pennies at best. The big guys who are folding are, not running off of video cards, or running off of ASICs.
Okay.
Right. So
the giga hash dudes.
Yeah.
They're
they're running off the real gear. And the video cards, I mean, you just don't get a lot of value out of having the video cards.
You don't get a lot of value out of mining anyway, unless you were there from the beginning. Like if you're starting to talk about, if you're going to jump in and start mining now, you're really wasting your money and your time. And I'm just using as an example.
It has so many. I'm not talking about mining. Its difficulty is so high.
Yeah, I want a shot at a video card that I couldn't afford normally, and I get it out of an old mining rig.
And honestly, the guys who have been doing it with video cards are the guys that just aren't like really in the know, because If a guy set up a rig with 20-some video cards, oh my gosh, you could have spent the same amount of money and got ASICs and had 10 times the profit. Like, these are guys that do not know what they're doing.
Right.
You remember the old saying? Go ahead.
There are a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Remember the old saying during the gold rush, the people who made the most money are ones who sold the shovels or the pickaxes. And that's not the exact wording, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
several
the
years
hotel
ago,
and the whorehouse.
Yes. So several years ago at DEF CON at the Hardware Hacking Village, one of the people there was actually demonstrating how he was taking one of the at the time it was a new ASICs for Bitcoin, and he was unsoldering some of the chips on there and soldering on more power efficient chips. And he had to set his whole service was taking the off the shelf ASICs and soldering on more power efficient chips and selling it back.
Yeah.
So he was making out well for himself, and it was he had no interest in actually mining Bitcoins himself.
Right.
Because, he had stable money just selling the shovels to the people who were not going to get gold anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, perfect example, because people can look at us and look at what we do for a living and whatever else and whatever we collect and everything else, because, hey, you can make a lot of money off of that. But we don't look at it from that standpoint. We look at it from the standpoint that, hey, maybe this might be a hobby. Maybe we might plan to make some money off of it, but nothing too crazy, Because a lot of times you just want your peace of mind and time. That's it. You don't care about trying to always make $1. I'll put it that way. Maybe. I don't know. Everybody's different. But no, in general, I just think that, like I said, if you're jumping into buying video cards now for Bitcoin mining, you've missed the boat. Pretty much.
No, like I said, I was talking about just getting my hands on a high-end video card that I wouldn't ordinarily be able to afford for gaming. And maybe having 6 screens on a machine,
Yeah.
And who cares? If the thing is, some of these guys are going to be having fire sales, just to make any money they can back off of it. So, I could see getting a serious deep discount on a high-end video card and doing nothing more but Minecraft with it,
But I also worry if those cards are any good, because I just recently replaced a card, a 970 that had an issue where they constantly blue screened. And so I worry that if I'm going to get a deep discount card, there's a risk I'm going to have the same problem I'm trying to get away from.
The thing is, you have to look at the risk realistically. Right now, there are people, out here in Vegas, I know a couple of them that are doing this. They are buying in bulk pallets of Walmart returns and reselling them online. And they make their money back by reselling 2 out of the 20 items in the box. And so, there is a risk involved. There's no doubt to that. But you have to look at it as an educated risk. I've seen people put $300 down for a pallet of various electronics, and they pull the first 2 items out. It's a couple of wireless speaker sets that are in perfect condition that somebody rented from Walmart, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you buy it, you use it one night, you return it.
So, Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, they make their money back on the entire lot, and these are things that we've traditionally, the old school dumpster divers, the guys who used to go to IBM in the middle of the night with flashlights and pull out dead machines from the dumpsters and go home and put them together again. This is how we got started in technology.
Right.
Even I popped up a Newegg real quick here. Even the 1080s, not the TI, but the general T80s, the Asus T80s, are $580 right now at Newegg. That's like they have a used one for $540, but for $580, that's not bad.
At that point, I just ended up getting a 1070 Ti, which is comparable to a regular 1080, and that's around $400 for a complimentary game.
Yeah.
I
and it will also last you for a long time, and you can also crack hashes with it as well.
Yeah,
you can if you're smart about it, you can do that. But segueing into sorry,
go ahead. No, let's go to the common video card thing. But we've gone on long enough.
Yeah,
we've gone over what you need for gear, so we've covered the bonus thing of like building a lab, what you might need, and also how to get it on the cheap. Next thing, what the hell do you put on the things? Oh, what should you do? Should you do Windows? No, put Linux onto it. Put Linux onto your stuff, build out your lab from there, learn how Linux works, because that is going to be the base operating system that you're going to see in terms of security gear. iOS
or Caprico. What?
Yeah.
What do I do if all I have is a Windows or an OS X system?
You can build
you can learn from there. Yeah.
You can learn from there as well.
Well, yeah, but quickly, how can I put Linux on there if that's my base OS?
Right. You can also make virtual machines, and
virtual machines.
Yeah, you can use virtual machines to do that. So for iOS, for Mac OS X, you can use Bandcamp and VirtualBox. I think VMware you can do as well.
And Fusion.
Yeah, Fusion.
And you can do the same thing minus Bandcamp on Microsoft's Windows. The other thing that you can do as well, if you want to get more bonus points, is learn how Docker works. Windows side, it's iffy. I'm gonna say that now, because you're still running it within a VM, so it's a VM when running application, so it kind of defeats the purpose of Docker. But my reasoning for saying to learn Linux is it is not as user friendly. That is probably the most commonly known for it, but when you're using it, you're learning how a computer works from the ground up, rather than learning it from the up to the ground. Which is
to the ground.
Also, too, I like
that's kind of the truism, but
go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
It's kind of the truism that using Linux, it's from the ground up, but in actuality, it's not been like that for several decades, unless you're going to a really complex stuff.
Right.
Linux is not nearly as terrifying and obscure to get into as it used to be.
Yes, which is also why I'm saying to get into it now. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is this: it depends on the individual. I mean, for some people, it could be terrifying because they're used to a Windows world where everything is like point and click, and to kind of ease into it, I would recommend like
Ubuntu.
User friendly. Yeah, I would definitely start out with Ubuntu. Ubuntu has everything. Really, Ubuntu has everything you need. So if you do want to get into the command line mode, that's perfectly fine. And here's a book I would definitely recommend if you really are in that direction where you want to learn about the command line stuff. Unix Power Tools. Read Unix Power Tools. Unix Power Tools will get you right in the command line space. It goes through every command, all 80 Unix commands, basic commands. So the 80 Unix commands in Unix is the same as in Linux. It's just that the different command line switches are different based on the operating system. But you do that combined with Unix Power Tools, I guarantee you'll be doing some slicing and dicing in no time. And then you'll start, like people think it's still old school, but it helps you out in so many different levels. Because if you know basic command line, and you understand sed, and you understand awk a little bit, and how to just use a basic editor. It don't have to be just VI. It could be Nano or Pico, whatever your choice is.
Oh, bite your tongue. It's VI or nothing.
No. For somebody that's getting into it, they might not be. I mean, VI, I like VI, but really you can use any editor that you choose, as long as you're able to edit a file.
Yeah, as long as it's not Emacs, you're good.
I was about to bring up Emacs.
No, you have to use the old VI, not Vim, the old VI.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Dude, I have Vim key. You haven't seen my latest keyboard.
Guys, why are we fighting over text editors?
We're not fighting. We're just
because Vim is
because it's the eternal fight.
I haven't shown y'all my new keyboard, my new mechanical.
Oh, did you get it rigged out?
I did Melody 96. See my Vim key?
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh my god. Hold on a second.
You see my nipples? You see my Vim keys? These are my Vim keys. Oh, sorry. These are my Vim keys.
Oh man, that's a Fisher Price practically.
Yeah, the guy I gave.
Look at the size of those keys, man.
It's
beautiful.
Charles.
Thank you. Yes.
The guy I gave my Commodore 64 to, I also gave him one of my Model M keyboards.
Oh, are you serious?
Oh yeah, I saw you had a box of them. Do you have any left over?
I do. I have to, but I don't know which ones are partial now. I'm gonna start moving keycaps around until I have.
Let me know.
And the extra.
I told you where to get the keycaps, right?
Yeah, I know.
You them on like Thingiverse.
Let me know. Dude, I will even Cash App you for shipping.
I could probably.
Let me know. Yeah, I will cash. Definitely, if whatever it costs to ship. Yeah, but
I mean, I love the new keyboards, but I am a Type M motherfucker from the very beginning.
Yeah, I'm holding this on my shoulder, like.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is my rifle. This is my gun.
this is everything. This is my arsenal. Yeah. So yeah, this is the Melody. This is the Melody 96. I just gave it a facelift with the new set of keys.
God, I gotta build one of those.
Yes, man. These are sweet. And this is brass. This is 6 pounds, by the way.
Oh my god.
Heavy.
That's self-defense, right?
Yeah, that's a self-defense weapon right there.
Very heavy.
Yeah.
Talk about smacking your coworker over the head with a keyboard.
Yeah. You're gonna get physical access.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's gonna be some physical and access. I don't think they want to receive it.
Real quick story on the Ubuntu. So there was a guy who was reaching out to me, wanting to learn Linux and wanting to know how to get into it and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I said, go out, install Ubuntu, and start playing with Ubuntu. He's like, but I only want to do command line. I said, I don't care. Go install Ubuntu. You can do the command line, and you can learn straight from that interface. You'll be able to work within it. So he says, okay. He comes back 2 weeks later.
The purist in me here. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, he comes back 2 weeks later. He says, I hate Linux. I said, okay, why? I went home. I installed Fedora.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't listen. Okay.
First mistake.
Yeah. And I did everything command line, and I can't get anything to work. I said, what did I tell you to do? You said to install Ubuntu. Yeah?
And you know what's scary? If he hates Fedora, he's gonna love FreeBSD.
Oh my god!
We knew that was coming.
We made it. My coworker and I made a joke today because we're constantly having to back up and reinstall. We have Debian-based boxes that we send out to clients to run internal pen tests on them.
I do everything on something Debian-based.
Yeah. He was like, maybe we should just move to Gen 2 and just have to recompile the kernel every time we change something.
There you go.
Sounds like a great idea.
And I'm like, I will kill you.
Gen 2, of course.
I will kill you with the amount of hardware crap that I have to deal with every time I set up one of these boxes.
What did Sue say and ignore POSIX standards? Yeah, that sounds good.
Ooh.
That hurts to think about. But honestly, definitely you want to go with Ubuntu and Unix power tools. That would help get you started.
Did you open that door for that dog?
And I will put this.
Gladly.
I will put this out here too. And this could be lastly, because this will be the time sink of everything. Do not go weak on learning some type of programming language. And I'll tell you why. Because it could be one language. You could just pick one language. You don't have to do all the 3,000 and 4,000 languages. You don't have to do all that. Pick one language, become proficient in it. I don't care if it's Ruby. I don't care if it's Python. Really, I don't care if it's Perl. All those three languages that I just mentioned will serve you well, especially when you're doing with scripting. Because here's the thing: you can script all you want in PowerShell or even Bash Shell, but even those two scripting languages have limitations. If you want to take it to another level where your script is starting to make decisions and do more complicated things, this is where Ruby, Perl, or Python would come in. And even if you wanted the web and see, you could do PHP as well. It's still heavily used out there.
Yeah,
I
did 2 years worth of web development in PHP. That is another one that if you want to get into it, that's the easiest way to go to start building your own web stuff. However, if you already know something like Python, they have the web framework there as well with Django. So you could use that way and build out your stuff that way. And then you start learning how the internet works. So another subset of networking.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing. And
have a goal in mind.
Yes. Agreed. Have a goal in mind. Yes.
I want to be elite.
No,
we're getting to that.
Xer.
Oh no.
I don't want to be elite.
You
want to be elite, Haxer?
You go to hell. You go to hell and you die.
Thanks, AP.
Oh dear.
All right.
Go ahead.
So you want to be elite Haxor. All right. Here's what you need to start doing. Start researching offensive and defensive security. Start looking into Kali Linux. Start looking into Metasploit. All that stuff. Start looking at like hack or like Metasploitable. Easy. Probably one of the coolest and resources out there for someone starting out is that virtual machine.
Yes.
Learn how the commands work. Learn how to like what each thing's doing. Which kind of leads more into the next point on the offensive side, but I need to hit defense side first. Also start researching how to defend against it. How do people defend against malware attacks going through the network? How do they attack, or how do network engineers stop ransomware attacks from taking over the entire network? All that's fun stuff. Just start researching things that interest you. And both on the offensive side and the defensive side. For me, a lot of it when I first started out was reverse engineering, because I took a class in assembly for MIPS assembly. And
I'm sorry.
No. It was good. I enjoyed that. I am a weird person.
And here, I thought I was the only person who could say that.
AP, you're just crazy. I'm weird. You're crazy.
Okay, that's a good distinction.
You're building a Hawkins chair.
Yes.
I guess I'm normal then.
Anyway,
if you're gonna do something, you should do it all the way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's the same thing that you should do with with research when you're starting out. After you've covered these steps that after you've covered and done your research and worked in the first 3 points that we've covered, which then you can then quickly move into actual hacking. So if you've built out a lab, or if you don't have a lab, there's labs out there like Hack the Box. You can use VulnHub, which has virtual machines. We've explained that you can use that to learn Linux on. These vulnerable machines, if you don't know what they are from VulnHub, you download it, you set it up on your machine, and then you are tasked with trying to hack into it and get essentially root on it. And yep, go for it.
Oh no, I was about to say, and to touch and to piggyback on what you're saying, with VulnHub, I would recommend VulnHub over Hack the Box, and I'll tell you why.
All right, go for it.
The reason I say that is because with Hack the Box, and I'm experiencing this now a lot with a couple of the boxes.
Because Charles wasn't able to get into Hack the Box.
I'm in. I've got a couple of boxes already. But no, the thing is with Hack the Box, there's so many people hacking on the same box that they spoil the challenge for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had one box, and I'm gonna call it out, Hawk. I was on Hawk. And I'm like, I'm testing the page. I'm like, oh my God, okay. I got shell, and I got the root, the shell flag, the regular user flag. Then I just happened to hit refresh. I'm like, something ain't right. How did I get to this conclusion? How did I get to this place? And reset, and it was somebody that had left the shell already open on there, and it didn't. And I was pissed because I'm just like, dude, you just spoiled the whole challenge for me. The whole challenge for Hack the Box is like, and that's what kind of frustrated me with Hack the Box, So I started doing some more VulnHub. VulnHub, you have access to that VM. That's all yours.
Yep.
There's nobody else hacking away at it.
Download it. It's on your system.
Exactly. And it's all yours. That's why I would recommend it over Hack the Box. That's the only reason. Hack the Box is fun. And like I said, it's more CTF style and it's fun. Like you can have fun with your friends. Invite all your friends over if you want. You can have a groups, whatever. It's cool like that. But
an actual
if you really, right? It's a hackathon.
Everything.
Yes. So, but if you really want to like, oh, and also too from VulnHub, and I'm gonna put this out here. Download Lab 26 VM. Download Lab 26 VM, and I'll tell you why. Lab 26 VM, Vulnerable VM, has all the web app hacking stuff you will need to get started. I'm talking about from Matilda to broken web apps to even there's a vulnerable version of Django on there. There's a vulnerable version of OWASP Juice Shop. It's all in one.
Yep.
It's all in one, and I'm talking about that is some cool stuff, and you'll have the time of your life in the web hacking section if you're trying to learn web hacking. Also, too, and one more thing. Also, too, as you said before earlier about learning defensive security. If you want to learn defensive in the web space, I'd recommend this book right here. This has helped me out a bunch. The Web Defenders Cookbook, Web Applications Defenders Cookbook. It's very good as far as like just different recipes, just different solutions when you're trying to protect and harden your web applications. I'd highly recommend this for anyone, even if you're not going to go defensive but learn the defensive side. I highly recommend this book and the Tango Web to really get into some web hacking.
And I have just a couple points also. To piggyback again, on the offensive, a lot of the offensive guys will learn the defensive side intrinsically because they have to be able to do the offense. But a lot of defense do not learn the offense. I highly encourage you, again, if you're defense, learn the offense. Because, and you don't have to go like to Charles level or like, go like full red team. But know how they're doing it, the main methods they're using, just so you have an understanding so you can be better at defense. And then...
sorry,
go ahead, Charles. No.
I'm sorry. Good on. I was thinking something crazy. Go ahead.
Okay. We know you do the crazy thoughts. Hack the Box, VulnHub. And then there is one paid service. They have like some freebie courses. But there is one paid service that I like that I'll throw out there. Pen Tester Lab.
Yep.
If somebody is just getting into it and you're like, I want to get into this, but I don't know where to start, don't know anything about red teaming. Pen Tester Lab is awesome for application side. Not necessarily, I think they have some network stuff and OS stuff, but they're primarily application hacking. And they're good, like step by step, almost all the way through if you want to go down that type of road. And it's like $20 a month or something. So,
or if you want to do look at packet capture analysis, which it's not just defensive. It's malwaretrafficanalysis.net.
Yeah.
And just a small aside, when I first started trying to use packet captures for penetration testing stuff, fired it up. And there was some protocol that was broadcasting password in plain text.
And what is that?
HTTP.
It was for the networking equipment there. It was broadcasting a password in plain text.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
SNMP maybe.
No, it was one of their redundant something that was supposed to manage redundancy. It's one of those things where if you had taken advantage of it, and since you know the password to authenticate the devices, because everyone knows the password, you could effectively become the router on that subnet.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's better than ARP spoofing because you're not fighting over the core router like that. You're not fighting over the device for the same MAC address. You're telling the device, "I'm the primary, you're the secondary."
Yeah, And so everything could potentially start routing through you.
It's not potentially.
Well,
you are now the default gateway.
It will start. Yeah.
I are now.
I like that.
I are now root.
I are now route.
I am. Route.
So yeah, packet capture is super useful.
Cool.
Even in general, you own a box, you do packet capture analysis, see what it's communicating with elsewhere. Always useful. So yeah, malware traffic analysis.net.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. Another thing about in the section that I have named Hack the Planet, which is what we're on now. Read the exploits you're running. Read those Metasploit modules. Ruby and Python are very similar syntactically, so you can pick it up pretty quickly. And I've started to do this now because I want to learn. I want to learn how to actually start making these exploits and everything and doing it on my own.
And Cappy or Charles, what is the command in Metasploit to show the full, like, what the exploit is doing?
I'm just, I don't remember the command off the
Charles.
I don't know off the top of it. Hold up.
Oh, you don't know?
Yeah,
I Charles knew it off the top of his head.
No,
I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head. Hold on. I'm just.
You're a bad hacker. I'm so
no, my my virtual box on my FreeBSD box is not routing out, so I'm fixing it.
Oh, okay.
I'm fixing stuff live on air.
Another spot that you can look on this too, since I don't have the command up in front of me, is Rapid7 puts out the exploit database, which I'm going to share my screen real quick here.
Exploit-DB.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have this exploit database as well on rapid7.com. They also have exploit-DB, which is what I linked the vulnerability of the week out to.
And it's brand new this week.
It's brand new.
The interface.
It looks amazing. It's Ruby on Rails. I already know that. Just by looking.
And it actually is a lot more functional. A lot easier to search for things. Big win. Good job, guys.
GHDB papers, shellcodes. Wow, this is actually, I haven't looked at this. I didn't see that they had papers. This would be fun. So if you want to really get into it, there's papers. Oh, hypervisor. Oh, it's hypervisor from scratch. I thought it was hypervisor exploits. Anyway.
There are some hypervisor exploits in there.
There are. We cover. No, that was VirtualBox last time I was on. I took a break for last week because of Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Yeah, a couple of bonus items. We hit on one, which was building a lab. Another thing is to this one's kind of. I don't know. I'm debating it myself on this. I think you should know this, but learning how the machine or how a machine is actually structured to the point, just like learning an assembly language, or just learning how processors are and different components of hardware work together to actually make a computer function the way it does.
Yeah, spend about 10 hours going through Spectre and Meltdown, and you'll get a very good analysis of that.
Yeah, just read their white paper. Yeah. There's also a couple other interesting ones. There was one, I don't know if I covered it earlier this year, but there was one that came, a white paper that came out from another university that was a branch of the attack structure that was not patched yet, and it was right after Spectre and Meltdown got patched and everyone was losing their freaking mind. But yeah, try and find those white papers, start reading them. Those are kind of like not end game, but like continuing education and infosec and in your own time.
And read Portswigger website and blog.
Yes. Read blogs.
They have a ton of great information on there, especially if you're into hacking web apps. Oh my gosh, it's a great ton of information. And read the blog. And I was reading this. There's a good article called "So You Want to Be a Web Security Researcher," and they have some awesome It has some awesome tips in there. And one tip that stood out to me is the fact that when you're reading blogs, also read their archive stuff, because you could go back over the forgotten vulnerabilities that nobody talks about. Like, you know, that's helped me out in so many situations when I'm doing any type of pen testing at the web level, especially with like and this is an old one. I was able to find a finding using a CLRF vulnerability. With
that is old.
Yeah. But you'd be surprised, because a lot of these applications are legacy coded, and you'd be surprised what you can find in there. Yeah, a CLRF, HTTP response splitting. I mean, I did all kinds of, and this is all old stuff, but it's still out there. It's still relevant, you know, and not just even with whatever's within the top 10. You can just start getting crazy and start doing all types of different things. In the web space that can lead to root or admin. Depends on what you want. Root, admin,
root. Or if it's WebEx, straight to system.
Mm-hmm.
Or anything Cisco related at this point today.
Yes.
Tough week for Cisco this week. Tough week.
Yeah. Well, everybody has their time in the sand.
Yeah, first it was starting the year was Intel and AMD.
Yeah.
And then we got what was another big one? Nvidia got hit again.
They got hit hard. Ooh.
Yeah, they got hit a couple weeks ago too, covering the side channel attack there, which is similar to Spectre Meltdown. What else got hit that was big? I mean, we go through the breach report every week. These are
Canadian Airlines, the British Airlines, the airlines.
Oh yeah, airlines. Yeah,
they were having some tough stuff going on.
If you want to see legacy systems, look at those guys, because think about it. Those airlines have been around since the '60s. You're probably seeing stuff. Like if you're probably seeing stuff on the network from that same time period.
Well, somewhat, and I threw that down into what we called it other shit this week, but I threw a thing down there. Have Magento patch that up immediately. A lot of these guys are using Magento for their front end and using it for their payment processing and stuff like that. And it's the most popular one on the internet right now. And if you are not keeping that patched, I mean, they are putting up security patches consistently. And if you're not, here's another note too. Like, if you are at corporate, why are you allowing, on your external firewall, why are you allowing Shodan to scan you?
Right.
Block freaking Shodan. Ta-da! They're not going to index you. All the script that you will not have a freaking script kiddie ever touch you. So block Shodan on your external firewall, and they're never going to scan any of your crap.
But that is an interesting point.
But how can I, as a researcher? Yeah, sorry. I'll let you can go after me. But how am I, as a researcher, going to know how many devices are out there and say, "Hey, this is a big issue, and a lot of companies have this, so this is actually warranted"? And now let's go for it.
I think it's a good point. Used to be script kiddies were just an Nmap scan, but now they don't even do that.
Yeah, they go to Shodan.
They're growing,
and not only they don't even go that far. The applications, the tools that they're using, they go out to Shodan. The script kiddies don't even go out to Shodan anymore. It's automated for them to go out to Shodan. So
but it's also
block Shodan.
It's not always just script kiddies, because a service that pre-scans so it doesn't inform your network defenders that someone specifically is scanning you. That's in theory. It's used by more than just script kiddies.
And
but then again, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
There's so much background noise scanning on the internet. I've always wondered how in the world defenders could really pick out what is a concerted adversary or concerted someone trying to get after you specifically versus what is this random asshole from Czechoslovakia who is just trying to find this new Bitcoin mining rig.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but Shodan, their scanning engine is not the same in the same IP range as their search and internal lookup. So if you utilize Shodan, that's a separate IP range from their scanning engine. Like you can block out their scanning from ever touching you and still be able to fully utilize Shodan and do searches if you need to.
Now, speaking of some fun stuff as well,
we like fun stuff.
I wanted to coming up, and I'll probably do it next week's episode. I'm actually doing a giveaway. I'm actually doing a challenge, and I'll put the challenge together. I haven't thought about what the challenge will be yet. But if you solve the challenge, you will win a free Raspberry Pi.
Are cast members allowed to participate?
In promoting it.
And promote it. Now, and also, I will be giving away my OSINT books.
Oh, good. I was hoping you weren't going to say like underwear or anything. So yeah, I'm way more for OSINT. Yes.
Okay. So the reason being, I have two OSINT books.
Like something like this.
Yeah. But I have the 6th edition, and I'm giving away the 5th edition.
Okay, cool.
90% of the information is the same as it is in the 6th edition. It's just a little bit extra stuff, as far as like with the Linux VM, the VM that's dedicated to OSINT.
Yeah,
but
Charles just likes
you would get some
money.
great. Huh?
Charles just likes to spend money.
Really? That's what I like to support. I just
support,
like to support people.
Yes. Yeah. Support rather than.
I just like to support. So
yes.
Yeah, I definitely do like to support people. So I will definitely be giving away this copy next week. So if all the viewers that's out there right now tune in and participate in the challenge, you will win the book. And when you win the book or the Raspberry Pi, it's not a combination deal. I just want to say it's not a combination.
They are mutually
exclusive. If you win the book, you win the book. You're not gonna get the book on top of the pie unless you answer a second question. But yeah,
so we're doing that next week on the show.
Yeah, we'll do it live,
okay.
And then
cool.
And then whoever gets the question, or challenge, right? It could be a question, it could be anything. I don't know just yet, but whoever gets it right, and they win, just send me your shipping information. You don't even have to pay for shipping. I'll take care of that.
Ooh, hey, I already know the answer.
You already know the answer? What
I already know the answer.
What's the answer?
Whenever I got married, my wife taught me what the answer was. The answer is always purple. Always.
Now, for Charles, my guess the answer is 42.
Ooh. Maybe.
Do I win, Charles?
And thanks for all the fish.
I don't know. What is my favorite video game character?
Mega
Man.
Mega Man.
Never mind, that's too damn easy.
Bruh, you wear Mega Man slippers to work.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, the Mega Man slippers.
Light up.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
I was surprised you didn't wear those to DerbyCon. That would have been funny.
Oh, that'll be next year.
Yeah.
No, do like a basic CTF or a like a scavenger, like a 3-point scavenger hunt, something like that.
When I'm helping out with the recordings, I'm gonna be walking around with them. when I go sit in the recording,
there you go.
I'll be like, what?
Prop your feet up next on the desk.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be comfortable. I'm like, hey. They be like, aren't you the BSD bandit? Yes, I am. In the flesh. Yep. And coming soon, Labs by BSD Bandit. Coming soon.
Right.
Where he does stuff.
All right. Just to go over in the show notes, we kind of touched on some of the other shit that is in the show notes. Exploit DB got a facelift, which you guys saw on the show today with the WebEx vulnerability that I showed on the newly designed Exploit TV.
Been
Evil
the same
Jinx
for like 10 years.
Yeah, I think longer.
Yeah.
Evil Jinx 2.2 Jolly Winter Update Fish Away. What is this, Israel?
Oh, I didn't throw that on, but
yeah.
I did see in one of my groups that they updated. I don't know what the enhancements were. I didn't look specifically into it.
All right, changelog.
Changelog.
So this is a fishing tool.
Yeah.
That has now been updated. So if you're looking for another fishing tool, there's another one.
Yeah, this is more like if you know, if you're a bigger shop, hopefully you have money to be able to have a regular professional fishing tool, but if not, you know, and or you're a smaller shop, this is a good option. I've used this, oh man, 5-6 years ago, somewhere in there.
Okay. Cool. All right. Next we had on the list, have Magento patch that up immediately, and Israel covered that a little bit with was this another airline that got hit? Or this is airline.
No, this is just them in general. I mean, like, and this is where I got into my little Shodan rant, because if you search on Shodan, you can find everybody using Magento, and you can find the version that they're using, and you'll know immediately if they're a vulnerable version. I mean, it's something like 30 to 40% of all Magento installs are vulnerable currently, and apparently like 78% of all of them in Australia are vulnerable. So I don't know what it is with Australia, but I mean, they're not patching that crap up. So yeah, patch it up.
I come from the land down under where I don't patch Magento.
Yes. And then I also threw on here, shut down your SMB on your routers. I mean, just freaking close that crap off. It's being exploited left and right. Fully in the wild being exploited with, and they put in the article, NSA malware. I don't know what NSA malware they're using. But
most likely it would be some form of the Eternal Blue Metasploit modules.
Yeah, I mean,
you tack NSA onto it. It's oh no, they got the NSA's stuff.
Yeah, as soon as they say NSA, it gets 1,000 more Twitter followers or something. But yeah, it's just bad practice. Like, never ever have SMB open on your routers. It is horrible practice.
Yes, that is a way for us to start, as we say in network penetration world, pass the hash.
Yeah.
Because it's got to authenticate to something.
Oh, awesome. I just wanted to touch base on something too real quick, and I should have mentioned this earlier. The mental health hackers, they are creating mental health and wellness villages. Yes. And if you guys and gals are interested in becoming a patron, I'm going to put the link also in the show notes as well. And they have different tiers or whatnot. And again, if you feel free to donate whatever you can, again, because like I said, mental health is a real thing, and we're trying to bring it more. I look at it more so as just a movement, more so than just like one person or one group doing it. It's a movement, and we're trying to make this movement more prevalent throughout the community. And this is something that
you don't want to end up like me.
You say that like that's a bad thing. AP,
is that silence there? It's kind of a song.
Don't get caught. Here's the thing.
That's Amanda Berlin's thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and the mental health. It's really off of the it's Amanda, because she's part of it as well. But it's like they have a group called the Mental Health Hackers Group.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I consider myself family. So, the mental health hackers.
Big hugs.
Hugs, digital hugs to everybody.
Yes,
you know how I do.
Hugs. And real hugs if you find them in the street.
Real hugs. If you find me, real hugs. Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Charles definitely gives some of the best hugs.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. That'd probably be the theme at DerbyCon. Catch the bandit, get a hug.
Catch the bandit.
Get a hug.
That's it. I'm carrying concealing.
Catch the bandit, get a hug. Yeah. And yeah, just we like I said, I've personally taken on a challenge to making this thing fun like it used to be. Also too, I'm writing an article for Sec Juice as well. Called "Make Hacking Great Again."
You've told me about this for like a week, for like this entire week. Every time, it still makes me laugh.
Make hacking great again.
Yes.
Yeah. It's time, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. This is our season. This is us. If we don't do it, nobody else will do it. The fate of the world is on our shoulders. Literally. It really is in reality. Think about it. If we all went on strike, us, including and the rest of our nerd brethren and technical brethren in the world, and bretherettes, women as well, what would you think would happen to the world if everybody just stopped coding, stopped updating, and stopped making new things?
Something
what do you think would happen?
Something along the sound of
exactly. So
wait, does that also include the hacking?
Yes, all of it. So, if we stopped all of it today.
So nobody's going to be breaking anything, though, also.
Yes, but no one's going to be running.
Because nobody's going to know anything broken. It's all just going to go away.
So
now imagine if that happened.
I mean, granted, I give it 30 days. So as long as you can hold out for 30 days, you're good.
Yeah, that means nobody can tweet, nobody, but that means we won't be able to communicate either. So it'll be a sad day.
I give it until the next Patch Tuesday.
Yeah. And then people will comply. But
go on strike the day before.
But no, this is why I do this stuff. I do it because, like I said, I enjoy it. I have fun. I like doing giveaways and stuff. I have all kinds of fun toys and stuff that I like to.
We want to see some Mega Man giveaways.
Mega Man giveaways that could be coming. Could be. You never know. Christmas. Just like with Christmas, yeah. Christmas around the corner. Who knows what I might do? I'm thinking of some things. I just don't know just yet. I don't want to say them yet because I want to see how everything pans out.
Please.
But yeah. But no, definitely with Sec Juice. I met with them, I think last weekend. On Sunday. Helped with a couple of articles. So
definitely.
He said, "Man, you owe me an article." I said, "I got you, bro. Make hacking great again."
Nice.
So, work on some stuff. I'm gonna work on it tonight too, some more. And then hopefully we get to edit it on Sunday and get that thing published on Sunday. Because he will help me with the editing and everything else. So yeah, man, we gotta support one another, man. Support movements, groups, anything that you're into. Cap, you're doing something. You look somebody trying to speak at different cons, local cons. I don't care. Let me know in advance. We rock out, enjoy. This is our community. We own it. Yep. We own it.
I am looking to start doing local cons here. Fortunately, I had a chance encounter a couple of years ago with the founder of one of the local cons near me. Kind of weird chance, and he said, "I need to see a paper from you in 2019," and I'm like, "All right,
let's go." That's just like with Ricky. He said, "Hey, I need you to do that talk somewhere. Do the talk."
Yep.
The mental health talk, the mental health hacks talk, and what happened? Here came DerbyCon. So yeah, it's always like I said, and it's always a challenge, and you always want to challenge yourself. You always want to grow. You always want to, make things better. That's what we got into it for. And also to have, a kick-ass time by playing video games or raising families or just having fun. And yeah, man, shoot. I wake up with the sole purpose every morning, of course, to get my tweet out, my good morning tweet to my fellow hackers. Ow! So everybody sees ow early in the morning, and then start my day. A day in the life of Chuck, aka Chuckles, aka BSD Bandit, whatever you want to call me. Day in the life, like I said, I wake up, Twitter. Once Twitter's done, shower up, get cleaned up, and then I'm out and about. Out and about.
Out and about.
Out and about.
Oot in a boot.
You're Canadian.
I am out and about.
But
no,
more Austrian, but okay.
I know, mate.
No, not Australian.
I said good morning. But yeah.
Guten Morgen.
I'm trying to get better with the German Unfrauen, but I'm not an Unfrauen. Yeah, I'm learning a little bit. I'm using Duolingo to learn it. So if I'm standing and waiting for something or whatever else, and I got time to kill, I always hop on Duolingo and then learn something new. So
here's a German joke for you. Das backwards is sad, and das is not good.
Ooh. No. I know what I mean, and this is crazy. It's this book called Dirty German.
I know that.
Dirty German. I bought the book. Dirty German, because it gives you all the German slang.
Yeah.
Oh, you have the book?
I don't have it, but I know my grandmother on my dad's side is full-blooded German,
and had the book.
Okay. And I think they
this is it.
We created the book.
Not created it. We heard some very nice German words sometimes.
This is a book, by the way, too.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was like, oh.
So I know there are some very good phrases that they could have in that book.
But I like, like I said, a lot of people are like, why are you learning German? I'm like, because everybody in the world's trying to learn Spanish. I want to do something different. When everybody's writing right, I run left. So, yeah. Shoot, another language might be Portuguese. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a good one to have.
Yeah, just,
Yeah, Charles starts elevating.
Charles, Charles, once you learn enough German, switch to Dutch.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap.
There's a lot of overlap between Dutch and German. Okay.
Yeah. Wien. What the heck was that?
Wien. Or what about? Or
No. That was just me. That was just my brain just dying. Yeah.
What about ish?
Ish.
Yeah, and there's no German ish, and then does that overlap in Dutch? I was just curious about that particular.
I'm not sure. I don't know a whole lot of Dutch. I know basic phrases like how to say hello, good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening.
How you say pretty?
There's only two things I hate: the intolerant and the Dutch.
Oh, all right. Don't talk Dutch around Adrian.
It's a line from one of the Austin Powers movies.
Yes.
Rant, you make me randy, baby.
Gold member.
I think I learned more swear words than I did actual words when I was over in the Netherlands.
Wow.
Like "godverdomme," which is "God damn it," and then my favorite one, because this one has a very funny literal translation. It's called "Meernukker." It literally translates, and sorry for it being explicit, to ant fucker.
Like the thing that crawls on the ground, or my dad's sister?
No. Like the animal, not your dad's sister.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That one was the most humorous, and I ended up using it once, and the entirety of my Dutch friends that I were with basically ended up on the floor laughing.
Due to your pronunciation.
No. My pronunciation is good.
I'm sure.
It's good.
Hey, real quick. I did want to show the Nook real quick.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, this thing is freaking small. Like,
yeah,
like Coke can, whatever can you want to call it, because it's beer.
I've got one of those. I got one of my HTPC. They're freaking awesome.
Very small, compact. This one, they have another one that's a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Probably about half an inch shorter than this one.
Yeah.
And you open it up, and in here you can throw a 2.5 inch, and then it's got a slot in here for an M2.
Okay.
So, and 2 different bays for memory.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, this one has the i5. They do have some with the i7. Like I have a Nook Skull Canyon that runs my virtual environment.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit bigger than this, but I mean, it has a quad-core i7 on it, and I run VMware on there. So I'm utilizing 8 cores or 8 processors, virtual processors. And I have like, I think 32 gig of RAM in it. And it's small enough if I needed to, I could take it somewhere with me.
Okay.
And I have, I think, 2 terabyte of disk space of SSD in it. The Skull Canyon actually has like 2 M2 slots. So, I mean, these are pretty sweet little devices, and you can find them at a decent price. So,
yeah, but this is. Hey, I got a question. Oh, what the heck? Oh. Hey, I got a question. Anybody ever get those hacker boxes?
Hey, sorry, that was my bad.
Yeah. That's actually something I was going to bring up this week. Yeah, hackerboxes.com.
Yeah, how are they? I've never had any.
I don't know. But that's something I wanted to see if anybody else had seen them, because even if, especially people with kids, I was looking through those, and if you have like 6, 7, 8-year-olds, I think these would be freaking awesome. Because how much are they? They're
they have monthly plans or something where you can get.
Yeah, they're
so you can have a monthly subscription of $44. I'm going to share my screen so that we can actually see this.
All right.
Yeah.
So you have, it's kind of like what is it?
Yeah, there we go.
Loot Crate. It's like Loot Crate. So like that box subscription service where you just get a bunch of goodies.
Adafruit has those too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get hacker boxes with a monthly subscription of $44. It's on sale right now. Get it for your hacker cousin or for yourself for Christmas. Buy it for do yourself a favor. We're not sponsored.
Right.
Yet. Yep.
Go ahead.
Yep. You can also do
prepaid. Oh, sorry about that noise blast. I hit the wrong keyboard. I was typing in an IP address and I was using my keypad. I grabbed the wrong I grabbed the wrong keyboard. This is the keyboard with the soundboard on it.
Nice.
192.
What the?
You were talking about a puzzle challenge sort of thing. I've got one for you.
But before we get to that, real quick, just on the hacker boxes, if you have like a 6, 7, 8-year-old up to say like graduating, I think this would be awesome, interactive, like work with your kids type of stuff. I'm seeing this as like potentially a really good thing, and it doesn't cost out all that much, but they could develop a really, really strong skill set, and it's interaction time with your kids too. Like if you don't want to just do this on your own type of thing.
I'm going to recommend this one. This is a past loot box that you can still get. It is the Hacker Box number 32, Block Sport. The reason that I say this is you get an Arduino Uno and all the stuff to go with it, and you can turn it into a RFID hacking Arduino, and that was probably one of my favorite projects that I did while I was in school, was building this out, and I would have loved to see this thing. And also, you get lockpicks with it. I mean, who doesn't like lockpicks?
And you know something too?
Yeah, you get one of these, one of the little clear locks.
Yeah,
and again,
those are fun.
These could be gift giveaways, people.
Oh yeah,
for watching the show. You just never know. I might come on one day, and be like, you know what? Hey, whoever can answer this question to do this, hack a box. I'll send it.
Okay, then I got a challenge for you then,
Mr. Charles the Generous.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Challenge me, yeah.
Mr. BSD Bandit, here's your challenge. Are you ready?
Yes.
This will challenge not only your general knowledge, but your web foo as well.
Okay.
Okay, look at my screen share and tell me why this is a joke. Why this is a funny thing.
Where's your screen at? Oh, hold on.
You have to talk so we can see your screen again. AP.
Unless AJ
Oh, sorry. There you go. I am now talking. I'll post it in the chat as well.
Oh, shit. Yeah, post it in the chat. This is good.
Yep. If you can tell me, now, you may be able to tell me what it means technically, but this is a greater challenge than that. This goes beyond just mere technical stuff. You need to be able to tell me why it's funny.
I can't tell you why it's funny. This is something I'll have to chew on this one.
I want you to chew on this one because
I want to chew on this one.
It goes beyond what you may think. You have to think outside of a box. You got to think outside of TCP/IP Illustrated. Okay.
Oh, you took it back with that book.
You have got to burn some brain cells to tell me why this is funny.
Oh, I like this. See, AP, you on it, man, friend. And then once I figure it out, just DM you.
Say again?
Once I figure it out, just DM it to you.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Or you can come back on the show next week.
Well, let's do it on the show.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Next week we'll come back with you.
I can reveal the answer next week.
I'm with that. Let's do it.
But I put this out a long time ago.
Okay.
When I was first starting to learn, things, and I came up with this as a challenge to test people to see if they could think not inside, outside, but like around the box as well.
So flipping your brain on its axis.
Yeah, this will challenge every access of your internet foo.
Okay.
Access of your internet foo.
I like this. I like this.
If you get the answer beforehand, yeah, definitely PM me. Hit me up.
All right, and then we'll talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
That'll work. Although one thing, my virtual box is not working right now, and I'm like, what the hell? Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is why when you have a Unix box, you really have to understand how stuff works, because stuff will break. I just did an update to FreeBSD, and now my VirtualBox network cards won't work.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it hurts, but you know what? I'm gonna figure it out.
Oh,
well, naturally.
Eventually, yeah. But yeah, I did a FreeBSD update, updated the packages, rebooted. Next thing you know, no route found for any of my VMs, and I'm using the same bridged adapter. I'm using the bridged adapter for my network card. I can get out to the internet just fine for my box. When I use the bridged adapter,
betcha somebody reset a config file when you put the patch in.
Mess my joint up.
Which is why you always back up your config files.
I live on the edge.
I had to smack that lesson into a kid earlier today because he blew up a config file on one of my one of my AWS instances.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you got to document shit when you do it. And it's like, well, why? And then boom, it blew up. It's like, okay, where's your config file?
Yeah.
Oh.
You have a backup?
Bang bang in my Pampers.
So guys, off topic we're on right now. Does anybody know why the stock market did a pretty good surge today? It got like 2.3 on the up.
Because Bitcoin took a nosedive.
Because Bitcoin took a nosedive and the stock market did shit last week.
Okay, so it's partly recovery from last week and partly
people
shifting to investments.
Yeah.
We're coming up on the end of the quarter too.
See, I'm gonna get that 2 million mark so I can retire.
People might be taking profits so they can go out and buy themselves a new iPhone for Christmas.
That's true too. There's no everybody likes the X chapter
rant about that in Trading Places when they had the stock market thing right before Christmas, and he said, "Yeah, but he ain't gonna be able to go home and get his son the GI Joe with the Kung Fu grip." It's a great scene. The movie Trading Places, Christmas movie. Eddie Murphy gives some advice to some stockbrokers about buying pork bellies around the Christmas time.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah,
Yes.
and people were being stingy or taking profit because they wanted to, buy their lady some nice diamond or something.
The two rich guys in it make another appearance in a later movie.
Yes, they did.
Places.
Sorry?
I'm sorry. Coming to America.
Coming to America. Yep. They lost all their money in Trading Places, and in Coming to America, they got it all back. Because the rich guy, Eddie Murphy playing the rich guy, threw away all his money so he'd be poor, and he gave it to those two that were living on a park bench.
Oh, yeah.
This is America.
Yeah, I'm fun on trivia night. Have I mentioned that? I may be a worthless human being, but man, on trivia night, I'm there.
So you whip ass and Scrabble.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm only okay on Scrabble. After about a year of playing steadily, like playing every day, my average word score is still about 21.
Huh.
I get 21 points on average per word I play in Scrabble. In fact, let me show you how useless data information collection can be.
I'll tell you, like, a look of fear. Whenever the new puppy decides to jump over a barrier that I have up into the space that I am currently in and realize, oh shit, he's here, and I know I'm not supposed to be here.
Hi, I'm going to do something cute.
Yeah, not so cute. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Hey,
here.
It's real. We did. So that whole counting the 3 thing you do with your kids.
Yeah.
You get the 3, get your ass beat. We did that with our pets. So when I get to 1, they're like, "What? 2? Oh shit!" And they fucking scatter. Because when I get to 3, I'm gonna come after them. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna give them a smacking. So
nice.
They know when 3 hits, Daddy's gonna get mad. So they learned.
Yeah.
So,
I'm waiting time for my phone to crash.
Time to, let's see,
So, Adrian, we've gone through all the show notes and gone a little bit over the 3-hour mark. What'd you say about ending the cast for the night?
All right.
Nighty night.